Following Satan, you're probably for abortion and you're probably for Harris. In fact, they've also polled agnostics and atheists and found like 75 to 80% of agnostics and atheists are supporting Kamala Harris. Which camp are you in? We discern the spirit of Satan inside of those agnostics and atheists and Satanists who are supporting abortion and the leftist candidate.
Coming from a galaxy near you, this is Brothers in Booze. And here are your hosts, Greg Washington and Doug Ziegler.
And April Dove. Welcome, y'all. Excited about this one. Hi, April. How you doing? You're on mute. I didn't do that, I don't think.
Oh, hi, guys. How's everyone doing?
Oh, hello. What's up, Doug? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about you? How about you, April? Hanging in?
I'm doing great. How are you, Doug?
Awesome.
We're doing great. We got a fun, hopefully, educational and informative stream for y'all tonight. Doug, what you got over there? I hear you might have. I'm sorry, ladies first. April, what are you drinking? I assume
I'm drinking my beer that I just came out with. All roads lead to Tiger Town. It was my collaboration I did with Kite Hill Brewing out of Greenville, South Carolina. We did a rice plum ale. So this is the logo for Clemson Homecoming, Clemson University in South Carolina. We partnered with a Black artist again that did the label. And CBAC is the Clemson Black Alumni Association in Clemson. So we partnered with them and did a fundraising event for them to raise money for their organization. So just bridging a gap between a Black business and a white business.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. So, oh, yeah.
It is pretty yummy, Daniel.
Jay, stick around because you're about to see there's some other art that April's going to show us that's just wild. Doug, what do you have? And then we'll get to mine. And then we'll get to our wonderful guests.
Well, being that we're going to have our friend Chalonda on, I kind of had to pull this one. But a nice chocolate orange porter from Allagash.
Ooh.
I don't know if that combo is going to work. Oh, my God.
Hey, you said this
it's
also.
Like the orange chocolate, right?
Yeah. Like the thing you get at Christmas, it's a little ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Greg, you also.
I mean, it's okay.
We're going to say, Doug, we're combos. Doug. You know. Go on, Doug.
Well, I was going to say, when I had the Dragon's Milk variant that was chocolate and orange, you said the same thing. Mm-hmm. And
right.
That was delicious. So, we're going to see how this. I poured it in the wrong glass.
It sounds weird. Can I say it sounds weird without being attacked for my views, Doug? Is this election season where we're just attacking people for no reason, Doug? Is that where we're at here?
Probably.
All right. So roasty, tasty, a little bit more orange and chocolate, which I would like a little bit more chocolate, but otherwise really good. 7% ABV. Yeah, it's very balanced. That's the one thing. It's not like over.
Is it sweet?
It's more roasty than sweet. So.
Okay. And what is that? That's a porter, right? So it shouldn't be. Okay.
Yeah, and it's 7% for a porter. It's pretty high for a porter, but yeah.
Pretty stout for
all right.
No pun intended. Stout for a porter.
What about you, Greg?
I have a special release from one of the best breweries up in this bitch, which is New Glarus, y'all. It's an R&D. I visited the brewery, what was it, 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
For this one, brewery only release. It's a I gotta get my bifocals on, Doug.
Yeah, so you can actually see what you're talking
about. An American Sour Ale. Honors are. See, can y'all see this?
It goes in and out. But yeah.
You hold it right there. You hold it right there. But it's in like a nice flowing old English style script is what it looks like.
Right. What the fuck? Anyway,
There should be a little card that's like in Times Roman numerals so you can.
Refreshing. Yeah, it's refreshing and has wheat and I don't know. Fucking, I can't read this shit. I can't even read this shit with my glasses. Y'all are wild in here. Tradition with aged beer. Still, I can't even read this. This is bad. And I can read. I mean, whatever. So, nice little tart sour ale. April, this was brewed 4/13/22, and it was bottled last year. So it's 7%. And it's really tasty and fun, Doug. It's one of those really tardy ones. New Glarus, when they do their special releases, they're usually pretty good. This is a pretty good one. This isn't the best one I've had. I would give it a 7 out of 10 for sure. Maybe an 8. But I mean, anything that's where New Glarus is. That's New Glarus' score, Doug. Is 7 or 8 beers. I mean, they're just pretty good. So cheers for that. So I approached April. What was it, about a month ago? And I was like, April, what's going on? We got the day open. You want to jump in? And April's like, yeah. So, and then somehow we had this idea of talking to Black women in craft. And so we reached out to some of our friends in craft culture and craft beer or craft. And what I mean by craft culture, that's why I'm not saying beers, because we have our friend Angi being Black craft. But Angi not only is an expert, in my opinion, of Black craft brewers, she's an expert in Black craft distillers. I think Angi messes. I think she talks to all kinds of Black entrepreneurs that are in the alcohol industry. That doesn't necessarily mean, I think next week this coming week she has Modern Brews and Beats on her stream. So Angie touches them all. And we got ABC here, and hopefully we'll be visited by Hannah Ferguson from Cider. So somehow we got this wonderful cast, April. And just kind of nowhere. I don't know if you want to speak to that before we bring up the other lady.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool idea. Like, I usually work on Friday, so I'm usually on the other side of the screen, kind of just watching everything go on. But I thought it was really cool in the idea of like getting some Black women and talking about like the issues in Black beer and Black liquor and Black cider, and and just kind of talking about things that we go through. I think Black women are really resilient, and I think it speaks to. It's nice to have a platform where we can all kind of speak openly and not worry about what kind of consequences we're going to have for our businesses and stuff like that. So it's helpful. So I'm excited about this podcast tonight and getting these women on and talking about that.
Without further ado, Doug and I will be in the background. We'll be here if you quote need help, but you don't need any help. So I'll let you do the introductions, and
okay.
You'll see Doug and I a little bit later. We'll give Doug a little bit of break, right, Doug? I'll stay on here for a little bit. But so who do you want to introduce first, April? Who you got?
So we've got Afro beer chick Chalonda, so we'll bring her out first.
Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Let's go.
Well, my afro's a little shorter now, but hey.
Yeah. I didn't know if you liked the blue, but I wanted to see you in blue there. So
blue is my favorite color, actually, honestly.
All right. How you doing, Chalonda? How's everything going?
It's good. This whole adulting stuff, I'm over it. But hey, can't get over it. Still trying to get through college. So yeah, I'm here, still drinking. I'm here.
Amen. I just started school too, but we'll leave that for a side. And last and certainly not least, or for now, we're going to bring up Angi, right, from Being Black and Craft.
Hello there.
Hey, Angi.
Hey, Angi.
Hey, everybody.
Yay.
How you doing? So this is on Monday. We got this, but we'll probably hear a little bit more about it coming up, and all the things that Angi is going to do. So, this is the time where I'm going to exit for a little bit. I will see y'all. And I just want y'all to have this conversation. And and then if Hannah pops up here, I'll let you know, April, and then we'll bring her up.
And
Okay,
Doug,
cool.
you're listening, and I hope your porter is gross. That's all. Nah.
Cheers. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Hey Daniel, what's up? What's going on, ladies? What is happening? What is going on, y'all?
I know. How is everybody doing tonight? Oh my gosh. I feel like I never have a Friday off, so this is exciting to have a Friday off.
This is so weird. So weird. And honestly, because I got another job. I know it sounds crazy. I have another job. Because
wow.
out of my many hats that I wear, I started working at a clothing store. So
nice.
But it's I want to get exercise, so just having this Friday off is really good because I don't have to do branding or I have to put sensors on clothes.
Yeah. That sounds like a
It's
nice
good to have
night
a day
off
off.
for sure.
Yes. So cheers to that for sure. Adulting, like Chalonda said, adulting is the most ghettoest place on earth.
10
Oh
out
yeah.
of 10. Do not recommend, and it's extra ghetto when you got kids. It's extra.
Yeah,
No,
I don't have kids, thank God.
Okay, so I'm the only parent right now. So let me stress it.
These poor ones. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I got 3 fur babies as well, so they even more ghetto. But it's extra ghetto when you got a kid you still trying to put through college. Because it's always like,
Yeah.
Mom, can I have? Mom, you know what you should buy me? So yeah, all of that.
I know. It's so bad that, Angie before the show was saying that like she's going to a wedding for like 30-year-olds and she's like those kids or whatever. And I'm like 30, I think I'm 37. I'm either 37 or 36, one of two. I can't remember right now. But it was funny because I was like, God, I can't believe I'm still a kid,
Yeah.
But it's like adults is so hard. I told my parents the other day, they're like, so what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, I think I want a grill. And they're like, really? And I was like, yeah, because I don't really want to go buy one. And I figure, why not get one? Is it something I need to have? So
you're still young. I'm 45, so yeah.
Y'all both still young. I'm 54.
Oh, you look good. What?
Anything, age? I thought you was in your 40s.
No,
I did
ma'am.
too.
I hadn't seen that in a while.
I thought we were the same age.
No.
Well, see, that's how you know. Black don't
I've
crack.
been here.
Black don't.
It
The
doesn't.
black not cracking.
I'm trying to work out and try to make sure that it stays supple.
I'm trying to tell you.
Exercising is good. I'm on the 75 hard. Well, today I'm on 75 soft because I'm obviously drinking for the podcast. But I've been doing 75 hard for the last 53 days, and it's been like crazy. So, working out twice a day, like eating healthy, all kinds of stuff, like all kinds of crazy things. But it's been going really well. I'm excited. So,
cool.
It's been amazing, April. Watching you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
You can still drink and lose weight.
Yeah, you really can. You gotta drink in moderation, Definitely. Well, for the people that don't know us, because we obviously know each other, and I'm sure people who've seen this show multiple times have seen us on the show and stuff like that. But the people that are brand new to the show, I just kind of want to give them a little background on each one of us. So I'm gonna go around the room and I just want you to just tell them who you are, what do you do in the craft beer industry, the craft industry together, not even beer, but like liquor, distilling, all that kind of stuff, and just kind of give them a little synopsis about you. So we'll start with you, Chalonda.
Oh, well, okay. So, what do I do? Basically, I'm gonna keep it real. I just talk shit. I'm the person that you tap on when you need to protect your business, but you want to say some things. And because of the fact that I don't have a brewery to protect, I mean, yes, Afro is a brand, but at the end of the day, I'm a Black woman, Black mother, sister, wife, all of that first. I'm going to be the one that's going to go in for you guys, especially when I'm peeping injustices. I'm going to be unapologetically extra Black without remorse. So that's what I do. I speak what others want to say, but necessarily can't because I get it. They have to protect their businesses. So yeah, that's me. Mm-hmm. I talk the shit.
Cool. I love that. And Angie, what about you?
So for me, I have a couple of different irons in the fire. One thing I have is I'm a brand ambassador. I've been a brand ambassador for about 12, 13 years for beer, wine, and spirits. So probably some of your faves, I've probably did demos going in when you go into the store. You're like, hey, you want to try this? This is what I do. Been doing that, and then excuse me, I am the on the board for Pink Boot Society, which is an international organization for women and non-binary members that are in all fermentables. I am the communications director, and we who for our North Texas chapter that I was previously had leadership towards. Then I'm also the social media director for our curator for Lifting Lucy, which is an organization for women of color to help them with resources. Like if, hey, you want to go to CBC, but you don't have the plane ticket or you need a place to stay, we kind of help facilitate through sponsorships to get people to where they need to be and get the education that they need since we are less than 1%. Then my last thing I have, I guess, would be being Black in Craft, which started during the pandemic. And just the communication that started out with Brandon Montgomery, who everyone knows is Black Beer Traveler. He wanted to make sure that everybody stayed together and connected. After a time, he went ahead and kind of pushed that away and was like, we wanted to keep it going. So it evolved into 3 people. Then it evolved to me carrying the torch for being Black in Craft because I thought it was so important to keep that conversation of uh, different people that are in the craft spaces. We are less than 1% for beer as well as spirits, and we need those stories told. And I want to facilitate being that helping with that narrative because I feel like we should have a brewery or a distillery that is a person of color in every state. And if
Yeah.
I can help connect those people to know where they are, to go and visit them, that's what I want to do. And as Chalonda, unapologetically, no apologizing for anything for that because it's it's too important. I think the stories are too important, and I'm finding out as well as other people are finding out that when they dig a little bit deeper, they find out that distilling or brewing of some sort is in their lineage, and it is our culture as women because we started brewing beer.
And a
Like,
lot of people don't realize that. They don't realize
No.
it started with us.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's gonna finish with us.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Of course.
Well, for everybody that doesn't know me, I'm April. I have the community brew. I started back in 2021. I was a traveling nurse at the time and was basically going around Boston, North New England area, taking on beers and having beers at my house. And basically got sick for 4 months and couldn't work and didn't really know what I was going to do. So I kind of just delved into the world of beer and opened up a door through Eugenia, who's the Black Beer Chick. Shout out to her out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And did the Road to 100 program. And that kind of led me into the door of the Black world of brewing and beer and craft and all things fermentable. Throughout that time, I was going to beer school at American Brewers Guild up in Middlebury, Vermont, an online program, and I got my certificate for brewing. And during that time, I was frequenting a brewery regularly at Charleston, South Carolina, Holy City Brewing. And during that time, the owner had asked me how he could get more people of color into the tap room. And it kind of all my story started all from there. I told him I didn't know. And then it kind of came to me was like, like you've got all these beers on tap, which we see in a lot of these breweries, but none of them tell a story. And I was like, why should I drink your beer if you don't tell me a story? Like stories are in our culture. Stories are just, the root of all. And he was like, well, come up with a recipe and we'll brew it. And I did. And my first brew sold out like hotcakes. It sold out that night. We brewed a 10-barrel batch. I think I sold 140 cases that night. I had 125 Black people at a white brewery that displaced white people. It was just like a movement, and it was supposed to be just like a one-time thing. And it turned out to be a 13 beer thing. So that's kind of been my story. And I've kind of just pushed through and paved the way my own way. in the craft beer industry. Like nobody was doing like what I was doing, going to breweries and telling them like, you don't have enough Black people here, brew a beer, and like let's get Black people and Black culture in your brewery. Be the difference. And nobody was really doing that where I was from. So that's kind of how I got my rise to fame in the craft beer industry. So that's a little bit about me. And we're going to go into our first question. So we kind of already talked about it, and I really want this to be like more of like a conversational thing. I'm going to like prompt some questions, but I just want it to be more conversational. But what does being Black in this industry mean to you? Like, what is the culture mean to you? What do you believe your impact on the culture has been, and what will it be in the future?
Angela, oh wow, that's a very powerful question. The brewing question, as we stated, it started with us, and a lot of people overlook that. So we're basically breaking back into a culture that we initially started, and let's not lose that ever again. In a over 20-something billion dollar, I think it may be up to 22, $25 billion industry. Like you said, we're still less than 1%. I think we're like 0.8%. So when we have this community, we try to create this sense of family and say, hey, we're here. We are on the map. And it's like you said, our beer, the beer that is being brewed, should tell a story, because our culture is a beautiful story. I mean, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's who we are. The impact that I would like to make in this industry is for people to know that, like, I'm going to stand on business. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm never going to be scared I'm never scared of cancel culture. I've said that so many times before. I'm waiting for the day for me to say something that's going to piss a bunch of people off, especially people that don't look like us, and they're going to call for me to be canceled, and I'm going to sit there and smile. I'm like, hey, I was ready for this, because when that happens, that means I'm standing on what I said, and I'm standing on what I did. So I have to take the hit for somebody in our brewing community because they have a business to protect. And I get that. This is how they make their bread and butter. This is how they feed their family. This has been their lifelong dream. But I don't have a brewery. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with putting the brand Afro Beer Shake on the line for my people, for my brewing community. So that is what I foresee myself in the future. Like, if you guys need, I tell everybody all the time, if there's something I can do, just hit me up and ask me. I don't charge anything. Let me get that out there, because for some reason that was a misconception. I've never taken a dime for anything. I do this out of the pure love and joy for the Black brewing community.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Angie? What do you think the culture, and then where do you think the future of the culture is going?
Well, also a little known fact is Black women are the rising demographic in craft beer as far as drinking, as well as spirits. And we're still getting the narrative of, I don't like that. I don't like beer. I don't like that. And I was one that did not like beer. I mean, I went to Germany and didn't touch a drop of it. Now I was 17 at the time, but still people were drinking beer. But I want to be the person that stands in the gap for those stories. I want to be able to shine a light and have my platform be that elevation to people knowing about these different places that exist, these different breweries that exist, these different stories that exist. And it seems like even the momentum of it, because I have a show every Monday, and hearing some similar, conversations, but some very different. I want to be able to shine that beacon of light and be able to, get behind me, or as I pave the way towards showing that there are other breweries, there's other distilleries that are out there, and that way more women than you really realize that have actual businesses that are making moves. Y'all are and you may, I don't want you to miss it. I don't want anyone
Right.
to miss it. So, and it's
Yeah.
it's niche. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel that way. Like, like I said, when I got approached, by Chris at Holy City Brewery, and he was like, how can I get Black people in my brewery? And I kind of looked at him and I was like, this was in 2020. So it was like in the depths of COVID. And I was like, why are you asking me? Like, I just came from New England. Like, I was always the only Black person at brewery. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why there's not Black people in here. But it was almost like an epiphany. Like, I was sleeping one night and it just kind of came to me. And I was just like, like, they don't brew to our flavors. Like, they don't brew anything that, like, I would expect one of my friends to drink. Because, like, all my friends drink craft beer, thinks craft beer is Bud Light and tastes like, wheat malt. Like, there's not all these different flavors. And, like, the beauty for me when I learned about beer was that there's all these different types of craft beer. So it's like, if you're not giving me a reason to come in, like, why should I come in and frequent your business? And, that kind of goes to, like, I think I saw Chalonda post something about, like, breweries being in Black neighborhoods. So, like, Holy City Brewing is in a old predominant shipyard in Charleston that was, like, Black prime real estate when the shipyard was here in Charleston. Like, my parents couldn't even get, as, like, E9s and E10s couldn't even get on this base to live. And then when the shipyard left, it became a destitute area. But now it's all been re-gentrified, but they don't reach out to these Black people that live in their neighborhood. And I'm like, if you would just get out of your brewery, go around the corner and introduce yourself to your community, you would have no problem with Black people coming and frequenting your brewery. And it literally was me telling them, like, get out, get, like, off your high horse and go into your community and go see these people and go talk to these people. And, like, they did that. And, like, now they're the most diverse brewery in Charleston. There's not a day that I don't sit there and I don't see maybe 5 to 6 to 10 Black people in a brewery. And that's pretty damn good in Charleston. Pretty damn good, So,
It's
like,
good anywhere.
Yeah. So you, like, have to really, like, get off your high horse. And I think that's the one thing with the community that I learned, that it's not about basically getting people to come into the brewery. It's about bringing the experience to them and saying, this is why it's so welcoming, and giving people the history of it, so getting people to understand, like, we started this. And I think when people realize that, like, we were the ones that started this, Black people started this, their, like, minds are blown and they're like, oh, well, I deserve to be here. And it's like, yeah, you have every right to be here. No one should make you feel uncomfortable in any space. If you can walk into Walmart, why can't you walk into this brewery and sit down and have a glass of nice craft beer, So
being in the community and not a part of the community is oversight in breweries, and they do that quite a bit. And it's not like, you don't come to me when it's February. Don't come over here.
Did I just say that? I just did that.
Don't come to me March for Women's Day. Don't come to me.
No.
Or Juneteenth.
All the time. All the time.
You know what? It was so funny. So when National Black Brewers Day happened, right? And don't get me wrong, there are some breweries I did see that actually went out of their way, at least here in Chicago, that actually went out of their way. They actually go out of their way to celebrate Black breweries throughout the year. But the breweries I was talking about, not just in Chicago, but outside of Chicago. Oh my God, you have all this love come Black History Month and Juneteenth. But when it's come, even though National Black Brewers Day, I don't care how recent it was started, it was the day to celebrate those Black brewers on this day. You could have showed a little bit of love. You could have said something, and then to hide behind the fact of I didn't know. And I called BS on a few of them. I said, you guys follow me. You interacted with me that day. So if you interacted with this post this day, you saw me post about National Black Brewers Day that day. So it was like, now I'm calling BS. So it was like, you're selectively loving us. You're selectively loving us when it's time to benefit you. And that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of breweries here in Charleston that will say, like, oh yeah, we did the brewery with April. Like we did the community brew or whatever. And they'll be like, like, okay, well, we did this and we paid you, but where's our Black people or whatever? And it's like, that's not how it works. Like, you got to do more. Like, if you still got the three same white man band on Saturday, what makes you think I'm going to want to come into your brewery, sit and drink craft beer and listen to a three man white brewery, like a 3-man white band? Like, change it up, do something different, reach out to your culture or whatever. And it's just funny because it's like, I'm very friendly in the brewing community. There's not one brewery person that probably doesn't know me or whatever. And it's like, nobody's reached out like to say like, what can we do to be better? You know what I mean? And it's like, why is that? Like, why are you so scared to be the difference? I did a beer for Juneteenth with, or it came out near the Juneteenth era, with Common House Ale Works. And, I wanted to, make it a Juneteenth beer. We did a watermelon wheat, and I did a watermelon wheat on purpose that came out on Juneteenth because watermelon is such a conflict with Black people, watermelon fried chicken, all the different things. And I was just like, I'll get to that, Doug. I'll ask what's in their glass. But I was just like, they were like, we don't want to market it as a Juneteenth beer because we're a white brewery. So Juneteenth is a national holiday. Why are you not celebrating it? You say you have common ground, but your common ground is for LGBTQ, but it's not for Black people?
I'm about to say something, and it's probably going to piss some people off, but I'm going to stand by what I said. And we talk about how beer is supposed to tell a story, right? I believe that when the Black is Beautiful movement went, we missed the mark on that one. That mark was missed. I believe that was an opportunity to actually tell what the Black is Beautiful movement was, how it started, and how it was created. I believe that the family of the founders should have been tapped to tell that story. That was a moment, because it went so global, that was a moment to share a part of our culture, because Black is Beautiful was more than just a saying. It was a whole movement. It was a movement to show just how beautiful Black people were in different shapes, sizes, shades of Blackness. So like I have the book Kwame Braithwaite, the founder of Ajaz and Black is Beautiful. I have his book of his photo work, and just looking at the Ajaz models and looking at the different shapes and the sizes of them representing in the 70s. So this is why I say we also have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable because we had the opportunity to tell that story, but that story wasn't told because it was overshadowed by other things. So I don't care who mad at me when I said it, but I said it then and I say it now. We missed the mark on that.
Yeah. Well, do you think because I'm very surprised that I'm giving grace on slightly, because I think that how it was rolled out wasn't expected and did not have the fortitude to know how impactful this movement was going to be, what it was supposed to be about. Now, and I think it was one person banging the drum and it ended up being a whole orchestra, but who he had behind his band may not have known how impactful it should have been. And that's the only grace I'm gonna give.
Okay, now here's
I agree with you.
I agree with the first part. I agree with that. But when you run it back again and again and again and you still don't do it, that means you're intentionally missing that mark. That's why I know. Again, I'm gonna come with it. I'm gonna stand on what I say. When you run it back and you keep doing the remixes and you still don't tell the story, you know who when they told the story? When they did it, Funky Town. Funky Town had Thin K Braithwaite, which was the nephew of Kwame Braithwaite and the son, to come out to Chicago. Unfortunately, I was not feeling well and I missed it. So when they did their rollout, I believe it was like last year, they came and I had an event to share the story of Ajaz and the Black is Beautiful movie. That is how it should have been done. So what I say is to say, while we're holding others accountable, we got to hold ourselves accountable as well.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that's great. I think that's a valid point, and I think that that shines a light on me. Honestly, I mean, I'm not going to be honest here. Like, I'm pretty naive in the whole Black is Beautiful movement. I only heard about Black is Beautiful as a beer, and like I only knew about this, the little bit of story behind it, and then I started seeing all these breweries, doing it here in Charleston, and I was like these breweries that I was like, wait, you don't even like why are you doing it? And like still like you can go into the breweries and proudly see their like one bottle is Black is Beautiful from 2020 still sitting there, and I'm like,
that may have not donated to the cause.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
This is why I said we got to hold ourselves accountable, because I stated then in 2020, watch them use DEI and the death of George Floyd as a trend. And what happens? Now that we're 4 or 5 years removed, now everything is being rolled back. So the breweries that were showing love during this time because it was profiting off this beer, they're quiet. Where are the donations? See, somebody like me, I'm trying to hold them accountable, but however, when a certain brewery came to light that they really didn't donate, they were quietly hushed. It was quietly swept under the rug, and that's what I didn't like. So again, it's like when we do things like this, when we share our culture, we have to stand on business with when we share it and how we share it. If you want to be a part of it, you have to be responsible for how you engage in it and how you respond to it. We can't just let people off the hook, because it's like Black beer nerds say, they want to be Black until it's time to be Black.
Right.
They want our Blackness, but not our blues.
Right. And that's one thing that I face with the community is that, I'll do these beers and then it's like, it's crickets after that. And it's like, okay, well, you have to change. Like, you have to be intentional with what you're doing. Like, you have to do things that will bring people in. Like, this is not like a one-time thing. And I think that's why I kind of switched up the way I did breweries. So like, I'm not just doing beers anymore, like doing, going to this brewery saying that you don't have enough Black people and doing a beer with them. Like, now I'm working with like on a bigger scale. I'm working with Black businesses and that like have a voice and that have a meaning, and it's like bringing that beer culture to them and asking them to like try this beer, learn about this beer culture, and then it's up to you. Then it's in your hands to decide if you want to partake in that or whatever. And then showing the breweries that like you got to do more. Like, it's more about just supporting a small business. It's like I had a beer that I'm doing in February or whatever, and we're going to be using a Black bakery, and the Black bakery was like, okay, well, we did this beer last year with you, and it sold out like hotcakes. Like, we're not trying to get rich, but like, can we get a part of the profit as well too? Because I mean, this is a 3-way collab. And I was like, yeah, I don't see why not. And the brewery was like, well, how are we gonna like how are we gonna like give them some? I understand like we don't have a lot of pie, like we're barely making ends meet. And I said, it's not about being rich off the beer. It's about being a 3-way collab. It's about understanding that everybody has a part in this. So like, why can't we give them 50 cents off of a beer that's gonna support their Black business? Like, it's all about supporting each other. It's about building these bridges. It's not about being rich and who makes this much and who makes that much and who makes this much. That's not what it's about. It's about being collaborative and working together and holding each other responsible, and showing that, you support this Black business, because you're a white business in a billion-dollar industry. If you start, you could be the forefront and be the runners that show other breweries that, yeah, we should hook up with all the small Black businesses around Charleston and do something for them. If we can do it for the turtles and the mammals and the dogs and the puppies, why can't we do it for Black people? Just saying.
So even thinking that, I mean, even on the day that you do the collab release, maybe they can have a table there to sell some of their baked goods.
Yeah.
Or
that's what we said.
Okay, I bought a 4-pack of your beer. I'll come over to the bakery and get 50 cents off or $1 off if I show receipt that I bought the beer. I mean, those little things make a difference.
They don't understand the power of Black buying power. We hold $1 trillion Black buying power. Now, here's the thing. We also got to understand our Black buying power as well. So it's like when we go, and I'm always trying to get my people into beer. I'm always say, hey, you're going to find a beer that you like. And I always will push the Black-owned brewery. So when people ask me, hey, Chalonda, I know you're into beer. What kind of beer should I get? My first is, okay, what do you like? What's your styles? I'm saying here, try Morris, Funky Town, Harold's 83. We don't have very many black breweries here in the Chicagoland area.
They're strong. They strong like this though.
Turner House is actually. Oh, you know what? So Turner House had the first tap room. Shouts out to Astro World's mom. She opened up a beautiful brewery here in Chicago. Well, it's not in Chicago. It's in the south suburbs of Chicago, which is where I'm originally from. It's in Homewood.
It's beautiful.
I mean, when I tell y'all that she spared no expense, this is how we're talking about a $5 million build out, and she had no investors. When you go in there, it's like, wow, the beer, and then on top of that, the beers are really good. So to see this black woman who has no history in beer to do something to honor her son, and the product is good, and the location is great. I'm like, I am so here for her. I am so here for this.
Yeah, shout out to her. When I saw that, I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yes. And then we actually met the architect, and we went up to the product project Funky Town party up in Milwaukee, and we met the project, and he was just amazed, like, man, I didn't expect for it to be this big, and just to see this white man just be in awe of what this black woman is doing. I'm like, I'm one of her biggest cheerleaders, man, because I really want to see her succeed in this.
You know, funny that you bring that up, because it's almost like I had a question about, what does black owned mean? It's funny because we have a lot of breweries out here, and it's like, what does black owned really mean? Like, because a lot of people go through the loophole with that. Like, I know breweries that are black owned, but they're not 100% black owned, but they're black owned because one person owns maybe a little piece, and they're saying they're black owned. It's just like woman owned. It's like a lot of the breweries here will be woman owned, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. They're like, yeah, we're women and veteran. I was like, okay, so who's the woman? They're like, oh, my mother. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, so she brews? And they're like, no. I said, so how are you woman owned? Well, my mom owns a part of it. That's not what woman owned means.
If you don't own 50% or more of that business, you're not black owned.
Exactly.
If you own 5% of that business, you're not black owned.
You can't get any funding either. So you might as well not even bother.
No, you're not. And here's a problem. And I'm not gonna call out any name. No, I'm gonna behave myself tonight. Because I don't want to get nobody in trouble.
Put in the private chat.
Okay, because I don't want to get this is not my channel. If this is my channel, I'm like, look, I don't care, but this is not my channel. When you allow your face to be used as a black owned business and is majority white owned, I have no respect for how you move in business work, because that means you are intentionally defrauding your community. And I'm talking about in the beer industry, although it happens other places, but I'm specifically talking about the beer industry.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You're pushing your face as, this is, and I'm like, why are you listed as a black owned brewery when you don't even own, when you are an employee yourself? Like, seriously, no, you're not black owned.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I'm like, I question that.
But I question it all the time.
It's so funny. When I said it back then, ABC talking shit, she just starting mess or whatever have you. But when it came out, wait, hold on. She was right. Yeah, I was right. I was dead right.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, because there's a lot of breweries out here that say they're black owned, but I'm like, but are you really? Like, I don't know for sure. I don't know if this is a thing, but the People's Beer Fest, Oak Park Brewing, are they black owned? I mean, I know there's Raj that brews the beer, but are they black owned? Because they put
I don't know much about the industry, so I can't even tell you.
Yeah. No Raj is there. And
And
my
Jeff is his
brain
partner.
yes, that's his partner. So those are the two, because I don't think that Kevin Johnson has a stake in it, but he has a lot of different businesses that are around Oak Park.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're 50-50. But even if they're 50-50, it's not considered as far as funding and stuff like that as a Black-owned business. But I tell you, one other story that I heard when I was at Vine Street
I like that place.
last weekend. Oh my
I
gosh,
want to get
I
there.
had
That's
the most
right?
I
amazing
want to get
time
there.
just being in Kansas City. Everything was cheap down there. I mean, when I went to the airport, I had a beer and a shot for $7.
I went.
You,
We went.
What?
I went in February. We had a great time. It was like
I
a
almost
24-hour
didn't leave the
turnaround,
airport.
but it was so much fun.
I need to
And
go. I need
they
to
were
put that on my
playing good
bucket list.
music. I mean, we
Oh
had
wow.
food and drinks and stuff. It was 20. I didn't spend over $30 no time that I had food that I went out and ate. And I ate
Wow. Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I was talking to a young lady that's basically I'm hoping to get her on the show, but she was planning on doing a thesis, and she was in Florida. She was talking to somebody in Florida, and she said, "You know the Black Brewery?" I said, "Basat." She said, "Oh yeah," because there's not many of them, so I know all of them.
Yeah.
So she was
What's that?
talking
Yeah.
about she went to a brewery that said that they were Black owned, and she went in, and all the space was very white, and she was like asking the beer tender, "Hey, this is supposed to be a Black owned business," and he was like, "I don't know about that. Let me, check." So he went to the back, and he was like, "Oh, actually, the investors are Black, but because of where they are in South Florida, they don't want to show themselves as being a Black owned business because of Florida being very, very racist. They kind of stand in the shadows. So
And that was
there
the
may
set?
be
Or Basat's closed, right?
no. She talked about Basset, but then she mentioned
Oh.
another
Oh.
brewery, um,
Okay.
that is actually a Black-owned business, but you won't know it by going in. You won't know it by anything tagged to it,
Mhm.
th- because of the racism in Florida.
Damn.
They would rather be white presenting.
I mean, I've heard that before with people with Black businesses just around, like, in my area. They're like, yeah, I don't really portray that I'm a Black business, like, at all. But these are like small businesses or whatever. Like, they're not like big, they're, they're like, moving companies and stuff like that. But that's really interesting. And that's really sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So, since we're talking about, Black businesses and stuff like that, who are we looking up to in this Black industry? Like, who do we think is making strides to break the barriers, click on that glass ceiling, try to make a crack into it?
I
And
will
what do we
definitely
think
go
about
first.
Go ahead.
My hero, Celeste Beatty,
Mm-hmm.
cracks ceilings, cracks walls, cracks bricks, cracks everything. She is a phenom. She is doing, I mean, as soon as she might be down for a second, but she bounced right back like a damn ball. She
Yeah,
bounces
she's
back.
really good. I met
She
her
has a
at
quick lookout. Yeah, where you met her?
yeah. I met her at Barrel and Flow the first year I went. And I was like,
Okay.
"Are you Celeste Betty?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so crazy." And she's like, "Girl," she's like, "I'm just a regular person." But like all the things she was doing, and she was talking about like getting like Black maltsters and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like sitting there like, wow, I want to be like you when I grow up. And like the fact that like she doesn't even have a brewery, like she contract brews and she like is in the
Yeah.
stores and like doing all her own press and all her own marketing. Like, I mean, this woman is a boss. She's a boss,
Yes.
for sure.
I mean, and
you know,
and since she couldn't get her place, and I mean, because she wanted to have it in Harlem, but the price and everything, just a whole lot of red tape. She has a brewery, a tap room in Brixton, London.
oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
So road trip.
Oh wow.
for sure. Take me to London. You don't got to tell me twice. I already got I'm going for my global entry November 11th and 12th. So
Nice. You will
just
enjoy
let
it.
me know. I got my passport ready. Hannah, Blackbeard nerd said
well worth
Hannah.
it.
Hannah's definitely
I know
doing
Hannah.
some good
I
stuff.
love Hannah. I met when Hannah came to Cider Fest last year. Between her and Dad, we all partied a little hard. It was a fun time. But to answer the question, Celeste, of course, was like up there on my list. But I have to. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a tie for me between Funky Town here in Chicago and Moore's Brewing here within Chicago. And the reason why I say them is because
I don't know a little bit about Moore's. Okay.
Yeah, Moore's is black owned as well. Moore's Brewing.
Okay.
The way they broke into the industry. So for one thing about it, when you break into no matter what market you're breaking into, you have to break in with the good beer. But in Chicago, because we are still a segregated city, for you to break into a market and your beer is in damn near every neighborhood, is in stores on the north side, on the south side, on the east side, on the west side, you hit that market. And and especially for Funky Town, when I first met Rich was like one of the founders. Rich bought beer up to my place on the north side, and he was like, "Well, we just trying to do it. We trying to get there." And to see them now on the path of trying to open up their own tap room, at this point is amazing. Moore's is like Moore's party hard. Moore's party, they the most hardworking partying brothers I know. So when I see them, like every time they're putting in that work, and that's what you need to do, especially in this beer industry. It's like they're not taking anything for granted at all.
I think I'm gonna have to, like, if I don't make it up to Chicago, because I think the last show they were talking about Chicago, and I was like, oh, that's on my bucket list to go. So I might end up making it up there, but I heard don't go in the winter because it's so horrible. So I might have to go in the summer. But I think I'm gonna check out Moore's because I've seen them at a couple beer fests, and I'm like, who are these guys? Like, I don't have a rapport with them, but I got a really good rapport with their beer.
Don't come to Chicago in the wintertime because we don't come outside in the wintertime. We were like, no, we see you in the summertime. We see you later.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in your town. I'm like, it's cold outside. You coming back?
I'm terrified of CiderCon. I know CiderCon is going to be in Chicago, and we're supposed to be coming, but I'm
But however, it was so funny because when CiderCon happened last year, the weather was amazing. There was no snow. It was like, okay, we talking about in February, so it was like 40, 50 degrees. It was like, for us, anything above 20 degrees in January, February, that's summertime to us.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to answer the question.
I'm ready to put on a coat.
Yeah, same. And I'm wearing a coat in my house right now because it's like 70 degrees. I've changed it to 74. It's like 68 in my house all the time because I have two roommates that are guys and they're always hot natured. So like my house at 70, I'm always in like a sweater. Like if it's not 90 degrees, I do not function. Like I like to sweat. I like the heat. I'm from the South. Like I hate the fall. I hate all of it. But
look,
I think
that's gonna change me. So I got the menopause. You're like, I hate this. You're like, I hate this crap.
Baby, you're gonna have your own personal fan wherever you go.
You're like, I hate this. You're like, this is some BS. I don't want it. This personal summer is getting to me. Trust me, you're gonna start hating it because I'm going through period, and I'm like hot flashes every 10 minutes.
Oh wow. I think who's also making strides that is kind of local and kind of low key, but I think people should check her out is Stephanie Grant. So she worked for Good Beer Hunting. And she is making strides. So she has her own platform called the Share Community.
Yeah.
And it's a platform for Black women to literally go on there and just not vent, but express their concerns. and to tell their stories and to be uplifted by other Black women. And it's like such a great community, and it's very small right now, but I think it has the capacity to grow really, really big. I think if once people start knowing about it. But Stephanie is like, she's doing a lot of good things. Stephanie Grant, she has her own. I met her through her newsletter. Right when I got into beer, I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is so great. And I finally got to meet her, and she came to Charleston Food and Wine, and she's such a cool chick, and she just wants a space. She always loved beer. She got married in a brewery, and she thought, okay, beer is where I need to be. Like for most of us, it was just like that love and that passion. And she got into the beer industry, and she was like, whoa, this is not what I expected it to be. She worked for Monday Night Brewing, and it was not what she expected it to be. And she was like, oh no, I can't do this. I gotta change the culture. And she's done that through Good Beer Hunting. She's wrote about stories, and she's, done podcasts for Good Beer Hunting on Black women. And she has to share community, which is for Black women, to like have a safe space to talk about like their issues and like support each other and all these type of things. And she has like monthly events for Black women, like podcasts and all kinds of stuff. So if you haven't heard of Stephanie and you haven't looked up Stephanie Grant, definitely look her up. Definitely if you're a Black non-binary woman or Black and non-binary, you can join the share community. It's $10 a month, and it's totally worth it. I mean, it's, you just see people that look like you, and you just feel supported. And I feel like for me, I need that because like I'm the only Black female brewer in Charleston. So like having her so close in Atlanta, which is only 4 hours away, is really nice. Because sometimes I feel like I lose my voice, and I feel like people don't take me seriously. But I feel like when I'm around like you guys and I have a space to talk, and I think that's why this conversation tonight is so important, because like we take a lot of shit from people, and we just kind of keep pushing through. Like people try to tear us down all the time, and we just keep pushing through, and we're like, all right, yep, we got another racist comment, or yep, they didn't take me seriously, or yep, like, and we just like keep paving through and taking it day by day. But there's gonna be a certain point where it's gonna turn around, like you said, and you're gonna be like, no, I'm tired of taking this bullshit. Like, no, you really need to sit down and listen.
Yeah.
So
also we got to give love to Jen Price as well.
Yes, Jen.
Jen Price.
Yes. Jen Price. Yes.
I have every intention of one day of popping up to her craft beer con. I would love to go to Atlanta to experience.
Yes. Next year, I'll be there.
I mean, look, here's the see. You know what? Y'all people with no kids can travel. But college tuitions to be paying for it. So I was like, I've been sitting my happy ass down somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
What if I pay for you to come down to Atlanta and you pay for me to come to Chicago?
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Well, look, you
sound good.
You got to come in the summertime though, because you could not come in the winter.
Okay, I can come in the summertime.
Oh my God! Yeah. No, Jen Price was the owner of the Atlanta Craft Beer Boutique.
Atlanta, yeah.
But she works with Atlanta Tucky a lot.
Yeah, she had to close it, but she puts on the Craft Beer Con every year now, which is an amazing format. So yeah, she's another
and they just released
woman in the industry.
And they just released dates for next year.
Oh, she just went live for that.
Yeah.
June 18th. If you're watching, can I do a beer and food pairing segment for you? I need to stop cooking.
Yeah, you can. You know what? The applications are open, Chalonda. You can do like a virtual
beer and food pairing session.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can do your own virtual.
Huh?
Yes, go do virtual.
Yes. Submit your panel.
The way I cook, my platform has become more about food lately. I don't know why.
No, submit.
You should totally do it.
Yes, ma'am. Submit it.
Submit it.
And Black Beer Nerd, if you're in the Black craft beer lovers, do a shout out saying that you're going to Atlanta, because there's so many Atlanta folks out there. Definitely go to Atlantucky. There's people that will definitely show you love. But if you show yourself up at Atlantucky, I hope you make your flight, because you're gonna have such a good time, because they're gonna treat you right.
Yeah, I mean, every time I go to Atlanta, Kentucky, the skinny and the other guy like treat me like family. They're like, oh, you're like our long lost sister. Like they treat me like they've known me for years. Like it is great people, and like you have such a good time, and so many people come to this conference, and it's just like Black love, and it's Black love, and it's Black education. Then it's like you go out. It's just like it's so good. It's such a good conference. It's a conference I go to every year. It's always on my map. I always go to it. It's June 18th to the 22nd next year. So go ahead and make your plans now. Come on down. It's good. I think Greg had a question for us, so we'll let Greg come back on. I think we kind of got off the topic, but I think Greg can probably segue his way back in. So we'll let Greg come on and ask a question.
Greg, oh my God, it's Danny's order.
I love how y'all giving me permission to come back on my stream. I love it.
You're welcome.
You may join us.
We have taken over.
I will make sure I use my time.
Women doing Black women.
Kindly.
That's what we do.
One of my favorite follows on Twitter is absolutely ABC. And before we got during this week, even when I'm very familiar with a guest like ABC, I still do my research on all of y'all. April and I made a joke about production, and she's doing more than us, but I do a lot, actually. I have to admit that. But one of the things I found something very interesting on ABC's timeline that I wanted to share with y'all, and I also wanted to get y'all comments as Black women on this issue. So it's a video. So after it's done, I want y'all to react, please. Or I have a question, I think, but yeah, let's get to the video.
My name is Zoe. I'm 12 years old, and I'm the CEO of Beautiful Curly. This weekend, Wells Fargo closed and emptied our business accounts, leaving us with $0. They closed our accounts, saying that we did not have a physical office address when we had the office on there that we've been using for years. So that is simply untrue. How are we supposed to function without any cash? Through Beautiful Curly Me, I create dolls, books, and puzzles like Bella here to help inspire confidence in young Black and brown girls. I also give $1 away for every doll purchased, and my dolls recently launched on Target. A bank is supposed to support and help small businesses, not suppress us. And we really, really need your support to get through this time. Please, if you can, go to beautifulcurlyme.com and purchase one of our products and help us get through this rough time. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your support.
I don't even have a doll, but I'm about to go buy a doll. I can buy something off of Amazon. I can go buy her doll.
Yeah, I just came across the update, and it's so funny because I actually bought 4 dolls. I bought 4 dolls, and I sent them to I don't have. Well, my kids are young adults, so I sent them to people who I know have young, little Black girls. The executives got into it, and they now have acknowledged their mistake. But she not only she getting her money back, thankfully, but now she's switching banks. But at the end of the day, it should have never happened. It should have never happened. She had this business for years before they decided to wipe her account. So yeah. That's insane. And and the sad part about it is this is what Black businesses go through a lot. When people ask why are there more Black breweries, the biggest thing is financing. You can have all your you can have the best credit, but at the end of the day, once they see the color of your skin and what you're trying to do, they're going to shut you down.
I literally have had this problem, to the point where I wanted to contract brew, and I had my business plan. I had my non-financial business plan that I did through the Brewers Association mentorship program. So I had 4 different mentors help me with a business plan that's financial and a non-business plan that's financial. Tell me why I can't find one bank that will give me money to contract brew.
Now,
not saying that this is crazy.
What I'm working on the scenes is I'm trying to connect a lot of Black venture capitalists with Black breweries, because you'd be surprised a lot of Black venture capitalists don't know about the brewing industry. They don't have.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they don't.
There are Black-owned breweries in this industry. So what I'm trying to do is like make these connections. That hey, this is what we have, and then connect with Black-owned breweries with solid business plans. Say, hey, this is the funding we need.
We have to go to alternative financing.
Yeah, and I will give props to Funky Town because Funky Town took me under their wing when I was in the Brewers Association, and I was like, I think I want to do pilot project to do a brew, and they were like, okay, we think that's a great idea. And Funky Town was like really honest with me. They're like, yeah, I think they would probably take you on because you have successful beers. Like I impressed Funky Town when I did my cornbread cream ale and I brought it to Barrel and Flow, and they were like, you got something here. Like this beer is delicious. And
April, April, I hate to interrupt you. So what I'm hearing, Angie, April's going to make sure we get some of her beers because I haven't had her beer yet.
Had not one.
So I'm just saying.
I was about to lie. I lied. I've had at least 2.
Okay, I haven't had none. And here's the thing, April, I want you to understand, I have no problem with supporting. You want me to cash app you for shipping for beers? And that's fine. I will do that. But I haven't had any of your beer.
I got you at the banana. When the banana pudding comes out, when we can the banana pudding, I've got a 4-pack for you, and I've got the plum ale that's going to come to you. So I'll get you some beer.
See, I can tell you I hadn't had neither one of those.
See?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I hadn't had those. No.
Oh, wait. So I'm going to have your cornbread beer with my cornbread that I just posted and went viral for some reason.
That sounds like Thanksgiving, don't it?
My cornbread.
I can't get anybody to brew it anymore.
Huh?
The brewery that brewed the cornbread cream ale with me will not brew it anymore for me.
Why?
Why? Because of the cleanup?
They said it clashes with their cream ale, so they won't brew it.
No.
So that's why I want to brew it.
I mean,
because it's better than their cream ale, and it sells more.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when I told Rich about my beer, and he was like, "This is your beer," and I was like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "I want a contract," but he was like, "We need to talk." So I told him about how I wanted to do Pilot Project. He was like, he got me an interview with Pilot Project. I talked to them, and Rich was like really understanding. He was like, I think Pilot Project would probably take you on. He's like, but my problem with it is that you are in South Carolina, so that means you'd have to fly up to Chicago at least twice a month to do the footwork, to do all that, to still have the brand. He's like, you got to find something closer to you. So that's when he told me about Weather Souls, that Weather Souls had opened something in North Carolina. So we got everything settled for that to present to Weather Souls, Marcus Bakersfield. I set up 4 meetings with Marcus Bakersfield. I have the text messages. Never showed up to any of them. And I never got to contract brew. I never, because he had it, because in North Carolina, they were gonna take on people to brew. Do like Pilot Project.
Stop now. I'm sorry. We have to have a real black girl moment. Angie, I see your response. You know what? Here's the thing. You know how you can have black women can have a conversation without having a conversation? The way Angie just stepped to the side, we just had a whole conversation without having a conversation.
Yes.
We had a whole dynamic right there.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't understand our intellect, Angela and I both said that's some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had everything ready, and I had the meeting set up, and he never showed. And maybe he's busy. Like, I get it, but when you have a meeting, and I'm like trying to like go into your business and be your pilot, like what you're set up for North Carolina is to set up brewers so that they can do contract brewing out of your business.
Well, I'm going to put it out there on this show. If you want a contract brew pilot project and you need somebody local to tap in, because when you can't get up here, tap me. I live 12 minutes away from a pilot project. I'm on the north side, just like them. So, like, if you need, like, hey, this is my liaison. And I have project management, background. So like, look, I can hit you up like, April, this is what's going on. This is what you need to do. If this is what you want to do to make it happen, let's make this happen.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's something I really want to do. Like, I don't want, I'm starting off slow. Like, I was even talking to like Holy City that I work with all the time here. Like, I do most of all my beers here in Charleston with them. And they are just so busy because they've taken on another contract brew that they can't contract brew for me. And it's like, and I get that. And I really do trust those guys because I go to those guys with all the advice. But it like goes back to also me being the only Black woman here, and they're intimidated. They're scared.
I love how
I left nursing for a year to work in the brewery probably in 2022. I think I put something out that said I was leaving nursing full time and going to the brewing industry. And I had breweries that were like sending me like jobs and all that kind of stuff. And I settled on a job and they kept me in the back. So it was a 3-part ownership. The one owner hired me, the other owner knew about me, and the third owner didn't know anything about me. So when I showed up in the back that day to work in the back in the brew house, he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I'm here to work, to learn." And he was like, "Oh, I didn't know anything about this." So that whole 3 months that I was trying to learn how to brew, because I got my degree in brewing, but your degree in brewing is not the same thing as hands-on experience. We know
a lot of educated fools. You can be just because you have the paper behind your name don't mean anything. It's when there's that hands-on experience that you need.
Right. So that's what I was trying to get.
Have somebody that's their homeboy that will be the head brewer.
Right.
And so I got there and I struggled. Like the head brewer wouldn't teach me anything. He ignored me. He would walk past me. He would tell me to stop staring at him. Like it was horrible, horrible experience. Wow. But what I could do and what I was taught was how to work the front of the house. So they would teach me how to be a server, but they wouldn't teach me how to be a brewer. And then they had the audacity. So they had the audacity. What?
No, okay, I'm sorry to cut you off. But Angie, Tifa said stop with those faces because Angie, you still have the conversations with your faces, and we still have these conversations.
It's like it's like the chat, the group chat is open. The group chat is open because this is a conversation that happens in the group chat.
Yes, and yes, Tifa, educated fools. My mom always say it's educated fools be the ones who don't know shit just because they got paper behind their name.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating to hear someone that has a desire to learn, that's wanting to put in the work, and you are stifling their success because I was blessed by the sun that I can birth children, that I have the ability to birth children. That's why you upset with me.
But here's the thing. But this is what happens when we goes back to that cosplay as Black-owned brewing.
Yeah. And it was like they let me go. The reason why they said
for Rich to come at you and say, for Rich from Punky Time to say, hey, to give you what you needed to hear from Chicago, and you're in Charleston, that's real right there. He's like, hey, I'm here to help, but this is probably what your obstacle is, and that's real because you are in a different state than we are. But then to have somebody that who could possibly help you, and then not no show like a deadbeat not coming to child support court. What the fuck? I'm sorry, Greg and Doug for cursing, but it is what it is. What the fuck? And that makes me even more pissed off. Like, what the hell? Our community is less than 1%. We're supposed to be able to help whenever we can. And then to know that a movement was pushing, you allow certain breweries to brew this beer who was racist and who didn't donate, but then here's a Black woman who needs help, and then you fall short. Again, what the fuck? I stand on what I said. Be mad at me for what I said, but I said what I said.
Should be able to get on the phone.
Like I said, but here's the thing, April, again, if this is the avenue you want to explore, I have no problem with meeting with you and Pilot Project. We could you come up to Chicago and say, hey, this is gonna be my liaison when I can't make it here, I'll do that for you because I want to see you shine. And I'm the type of person, I don't have to know you or like you to want to see you win. I just want to see Black women win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely have, thought about it, and I'm like, and it's just one of those things where it's like when you keep getting pushed down, it's like, fuck. It's like, what? And it's like you said, like, damn, you won't even help me. Like, you won't even make it to a phone call. Like, I'm like chasing you. I'm like, that's not good, And it's like you have this big facility, and the next thing you know, you hear that it's closed, and it's like it's closing, and it's like, okay. So then when you try to talk to the person about it, they don't want to like even give you the time of day, and it's like, all right, okay, well, cool.
Well, here's the thing: just because one person is not showing up for you, baby girl, you have a whole community that will, and I will make sure that they do.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Don't let that one person stop the success that you are destined to have.
Exactly. I want some of your beer though.
Yeah, I know. I'll get you beer. I promise. So Chalonda, I mean not Chalonda, but Angie. Doug wants to know he wants to know about your rum.
Oh, and of course I finished it, but I had the Santa Teresa 1796 rum. It was it is a coffee like coffee cast rum that I have here. And
right back.
it's been triple aged in Solera, which the Solera method is basically different ages of rum all together. And this is in Arabica coffee cast finish. It's pretty tasty. This was one of the bottles that I used when I was doing when I was selling it, and people were really impressed with it. So just a little taste. Very inexpensive. It's from Venezuela. Huh?
Okay. What are you drinking now?
Nothing. I've drunk everything. But I'll tell you what I had. I had an Odell Stand Rambler. This was a blonde ale. I got it on
okay. That's okay.
A blonde ale and the Santa Teresa rum, which was pretty tasty. So that has me feeling very nice and loose.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, for my second beer, I did Elsewhere Brewing, Ripped to Elsewhere. They just closed down, or they're closing down. They were so good. When I was in Atlanta for Crafted for Action, I bought like 3 cases of their beer. I was like, and I don't even, people that go on the show know that I'm a Saison drinker, and they had Saison, and I was like, I need 2 cases of Saison, please.
Oh my god!
And I got all their beer, and it was so good. And this is my last Elsewhere beer, and I'm so sad, but I'm glad I got to drink it on the show because I love Saisons.
Nice.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get some bourbon.
R.I.P. to
All right,
Elsewhere.
go get some bourbon. All right, Angie, let's keep the questions coming.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about AI in the industry? Like, because AI is becoming like a huge thing. Like, it's huge right now. And my fear with AI is that, I'm scared that AI is going to take some jobs away from breweries, like marketing, can art labels, all that kind of stuff, because they can because AI can do it so quickly now. You can kind of just get an AI to write your post for the day, or you can put in a picture and then AI makes a can art for you. And now these can artists and all this kind of stuff are becoming to the wayside. Like our world is eventually going to go to AI. I believe that. But like, do you think it's going to affect people in the beer industry sooner rather than later? Or?
Honestly, I really didn't even think about the concept until you mentioned it just now.
Okay.
I can see where that would be on a bigger scale, a lot of like bigger breweries wanting to do that. But my hope is that the small niche breweries are still going to be reaching out because they still need that connection to community. And I think that potential conduit to community with having, hey, let's have a party where we're picking can art or having a contest for can art or something like that. They still need that to drive people in.
Yeah,
But
that's basically what we did for our next collab that we're doing with Snafu Brew and the Banana Pudding Sour. We partnered with the Gibbs Museum, which is a museum here that does a visiting arts residency once a month for the year for Black young artists. So we got 4 of the 12 to do can art for our Banana Pudding Sour. So it'll be a rotating can art. And every time that they showcase at the museum, their can art will be on the can that's being served at their event being poured or whatever. And they'll get to take the can home and they'll get to take a case home or whatever. So I think it's really important to keep the artistry in and keep it small, you know? So I think Doug has a question. So we'll let Doug come on it back in. If he's not drinking a porter. Only if he's not
no porters.
No porters. No porters. I have a question actually for Angie. I wanted to know what female-owned and more specifically Black female-owned distilleries there are, because diversifying, like I've been doing things like diversifying my bookshelf and also trying to diversify my liquor cabinet. So what would you suggest besides like Uncle Neary? But that would be the one that I would think of. But
you got me on the spot. You got me on the spot, Doug. Hold on.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean
to. The most recent one just came out of New Orleans. Let me see if I can find. I'll go and get her her bottle.
Doug, have you tried the women-owned tequila? It's pretty popular. It's like in a green glass bottle and has a swing top. You don't do tequila, do you?
No, not much, because tequila is one of those college drinks that I had that really really ruined me. But Greg does. Greg would know.
Maybe Greg knows it. Greg, do you know what tequila I'm talking about? It's like in a green glass bottle, like
Is it a
Tea Caprese?
Granita?
Oh yes.
No,
but I thought that was it's a people of color. It's all woman owned. But they're out of yes, La Granita. It's it's all female owned distillery.
Okay.
I think they not out of Jalisco, but somewhere near Jalisco. They may be in the lowlands.
La Granita.
Yeah, I mean, their tequila is so good, so good.
Yes, La Granita is women owned. It's in a green bottle. I'm not a tequila person.
It's a good one.
But hit me when you talk about bourbon and whiskey. I'm there.
So this, I was like, I know it's new, and I couldn't remember the last name. New Dawn. Okay. She has, and I took off my blur so you could see it. New Dawn. She's out of New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
And she has a 10-year. This is a 6-year. She just came out with a 10-year bourbon whiskey. And if you follow her, she always comes on and does recipes with her bourbon. But of course, it is always great sipping just by itself.
Let me make some cookies with that bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
See, now it's time for the holidays. Send me some cookies.
Oh, you know what? It's so funny because like I posted my bourbon pecan chocolate chip cookies. You know, that sounds good. The chef, she retweeted my cookies, so I was like, yeah, maybe it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
This one is good. I think for some reason my brain wants to say that Murmur, MUR is female owned, but don't it's Black owned for sure, but don't quote me. And then Tea Capri, TCAPRI Spirits. That's tequila. That's Black owned, female.
Okay. Oh wow, Angie, you're gonna have to give us a list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna lead a list.
I will definitely. You know what? That'll be my homework, and y'all keep me honest and remember, and have me to remember.
Yeah. Oh, I
But I'll
am.
definitely
Oh, I
do
am.
do a list
Okay.
Well,
for everything.
when I
But yeah,
was in Barbados, we went to Mount Gay, which is kind of big and all that kind of stuff. But their master distiller is a Black woman, or whatever, and we bought her blend, and it was like pretty expensive blend, but it's very, very tasty. And I was like, oh, okay, I like it. I like it. Looks like Greg said we have an audience question, so let's do the audience question before we hop back into our questions and our conversation.
Let's see.
I think Greg's going to tee it up in just a few minutes. How'd you get started in the beer business? How do y'all transition into business knowing you're Black and you're a woman? Also, what's your motivation to push forward? I can definitely go and answer this first. So mine was strictly out of passion. I literally went to New England, Cape Cod, and met my best friend in the whole wide world. That like, I knew when I was going to Cape Cod that I was going to be the only Black person. Like, I knew I was going into like a white town that was uppity, that was like way out of my league. And I met this down to earth Black or white woman. Her name is Carlene, and she took me on a 13 brewery 3-day tour in Portland, Maine. And we got to Allagash, and I never had Allagash. And I walked into Allagash, and something in my soul, was just like, you're home. This is where you need to be. This is what you need to do. This is where it is. And I was like, I don't want to leave. And we stayed there all night, and I drank beer after beer after beer. And I was like, this is what I need to be doing. And from there, it stemmed. I would go to breweries all over Boston while I was traveling, nursing, and all that kind of stuff. And I knew that it was going to be difficult for me because I knew then that I was the only one. And I was okay with being the only one because a lot in my life, I've always been the only one. So I went to an all-white Christian school. So there's only 5 Black people. I worked in a hospital, and I was a nurse, and I was the only Black nurse, so I had been in those situations. My parents were both in the medical field, and like they were the only ones. So like I was used to being in this white environment. It wasn't until I worked at this hospital in Columbia, South Carolina, that I got to see so many Black people. Like the hospital was run by a Black person, the staff was Black. Like I felt like the minority in the Black environment because I was like, I had never seen this many Black people that were professional and that had jobs and like were doing all these things. So like I knew that like going into the beer business and knowing that it was whitewashed, white male dominated, that like it was going to be tough. I didn't know how tough it was going to be, and I didn't know how much pushback I was going to get. But that is what pushed me because I was like, I'm passionate about this. And when you're passionate about something, it's way different. Like everybody tells you that you go to school, you go to college, you get a job, you have a career, you have a family, and all those things. But they don't tell you about passion when you're really passionate about something. And for me, beer was my passion, where like I eat, sleep, drinked about it, was conversations all the time. Like it was something that like I could not put down. Like I couldn't get enough of it. And I just pushed through. And I was like, this is not going to stop me. Like I was with an ex-partner that took advantage of the community, that I almost lost my whole business because I almost let a man take over me. And like I had to stand up for myself and say, no, you're not taking this business. This business is mine. I'm the one that started this business. And I lost a lot of followers. I lost a lot of people. But it's still, because it's my passion, that's what pushes me through every day. And when you have a passion, you won't stop at anything. You won't let anything stop you because you love it so much. It's much more different than a career. It's much more different than a love. It's a passion. It's something that you eat, sleep, drink, can't stop thinking about. You want the best for everything, and you want to be the badass bitch that gets through, that trailblazes away. So that's my answer to that question. I'll let you guys answer.
I'm sure mine will be quick and dirty. Didn't like beer. Surprise. didn't like beer. I thought beer was nasty, disgusting. Had no idea. And it was a friend that was working at a festival that in Texas is hot. Her boss was like, "Hey, can you come and help out because somebody had drunk too much beer and it was hot in Texas," and she was like really like woozy. So I went out because she said, "I'll pay you $20 an hour." I said, "I'll be there in 15 minutes," because I wasn't doing nothing but on my couch. And still people are like, "Well, what's the profile? What are the address?" I don't know. Do you want the beer or not? Because I still don't know nothing about beer. I'm just serving it. I'm serving it badly. I know I wasn't pouring that beer. But until I was standing next to, after the second, because it was paying pretty good money, standing next to Weller's banana nut beer, I was like, "What is that? That smells good." And I kept on smelling it. And so I ended up tasting it. I said, "No, beer can taste like this, not like Schlitz malt liquor beer, because that's the beer that I know from my grandfather." That's when my eyes were open. The scales were off from my eyes. And that's when I started knowing that beer can be something else. And then, first and foremost, it's kind of like it it transitioned for me. I'm gonna always I mean, I'm automatically gonna be I'm a woman and I'm Black. And so I automatically know that I'm gonna be in spaces where it's just gonna be me. And to be able to go into these rooms and be that space, create some space in that room where I know that maybe I'm not necessarily looked to be in that space, but filling up that space as a woman, as a boss bitch, as a know-it-all compared to you, because sometimes people that try to mansplain beers to me, I'm like, get away from me. I know more than you do. Little do you know I know more than you do.
Right.
And it's the motivation to continue again to tell those stories and to be just a light or a beacon to show we can be everything in this space, in this craft beer community, in this fermentable community, and knowing that we dominate this area, but we have to show. It's almost like we have to show our work. I don't know how to explain
We
that.
do.
We
Yeah,
have to
we
show
do.
our work, but we we've already done the work, but we got to show it.
Yeah. Prove
That's what
ourselves again.
was a little bit frustrating, but it has to be done because people have the wrong conception of what we are and how we are in this space.
Oh,
Chalonda, what's your take on the question?
so for me, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I started in a bit because of a man. I did. I was dating my husband at the time, and he was the one that put me onto beer. He was the one to say, "Hey, I have a beer I want you to try." It was Goose Island Sophie. And
Ooh.
for me, like for someone who had my grandmother used to work at Miller Brewing Company. So she used to bring home Miller all the time. And as kids, we used to sneak it because she used to get she used to bring home monthly allotments and so much of it she didn't know if it was missing or not. So yeah, we used to kind of sneak it or whatever. Especially for my uncles. My uncles would give it to us to keep us from snitching. But for me, it was I was like, damn, this is craft beer. Like, it tastes really good. It has a citrusy taste. It has a different level. So from there is what I started. So it was actually in 2009 when he gave me my first craft beer, and I started chasing it. And then I was hanging out with him and his friends and beer, and I'm like, okay, where are the women? So I found Chicago Girls Pint Out. And well, I found Girls Print Out, and they didn't have a chapter here in Chicago. And I was like, well, hell, can I start a chapter in Chicago? And it was like, yeah, cool. But at the time, my girls were still young, so I did that for maybe about 2 years. And I was like, okay, I gotta step back because my kids are young. I'm a mom still. And, I was still kind of still hanging out with him and still drinking beer. But then it wasn't until like 2017 when I started Afro Beer Chick. It was my neighbor, not my neighbor, but my coworker. He was like, "You have this kick-ass afro, not now because it's short, but he said you have this kick-ass afro, and you always talking about beer. It would be so dope if your name was Afro Beer Chick." And I was like, "Oh my god, you are so right." So that's how Afro Beer Chick started in 2017. And at that time, I mean, my oldest, she was a year away from graduating from high school. My youngest, she wasn't too far behind. It's like, now I have more free time, so which means I can party and drink more. So which is what I did. So that's how Afro Beer Chick started. I honestly did not expect for Afro Beer Chick to kick off the way that it did. When I started Afro Beer Chick in 2017, I initially started with looking for Black-owned breweries. And at the time, I came across an owner who owned Blacks. Oh my God. I've been doing a lot of drinking, but it was a Black-owned woman brewery in North Carolina that went through a lot of shit. I'm gonna have to come back to it. And I felt so bad for her. Yeah. So it and at that time it was only 6 Black-owned breweries. Now we are up to maybe about 90. We're making we still got some progress to make, but so it's just, just hearing stories along the way, like what they had to go through and how they had to protect themselves. I'm like, well, I don't have a bird to protect. I don't give a damn about getting canceled. So that's how Afro Beer Chick kind of started. Like, I'm gonna call my foes out, and you like it. If you don't, you don't. So yeah. But I'm excited for what the platform has turned into. It's made a lot of connections. And shout out to my syndicate people like Elle and Phil and Eugenia and all of them. Like, we didn't know each other when I was the Fresh Fest in 2019. It was because of Elle Woods who say, hey, who wants to share a house for Fresh Fest? Oh, okay, cool. And that's my family. I love them to death. So it was like, yeah, I don't know. The Black beer community for me is been love and light. It's been love and light. Yeah. And meeting Angie and meeting you. Well, I haven't met you in person yet, April, but I will.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I met Greg. Yeah, for sure. Greg. I harassed Greg. Actually, I just said Greg maybe about a month or so ago. I'm gonna harass Greg all the time. Doug, I haven't met in person. Greg, I met for the first time at my first Fresh Fest. It was amazing. So I love these guys.
Yeah,
I love the Black beer community.
Perfect. I think we have another question that Greg said from the audience, so we'll take that one too.
What's next for y'all? Share. I'm trying to get through school.
I know. I literally was. That's gonna be my last question. So don't answer it yet because I feel like we still have.
I'm sorry.
Well, I guess you can answer. We can end with another question. No, we can end with another question. But yes. But what's next for y'all? For sure. So, Angie, you want to go? What's next for you?
Oh, let's see. So, what's next for me? Yeah, Monday. Monday with Martin Brews and Beats. But really still just keeping the momentum with being Black and Craft, being going out to using my media presence and sharing stories. I have a lot of audio footage from Vine Street that I'm going to download, and I'm hoping to get the guys on the podcast. So basically just forecasting into 2025 and hoping that I get bigger and better, sharing stories about being Black and Craft in these spaces.
Cool. All right, Chalonda, you want to go next and then I'll end, or do you want me to go?
Okay, I'll go. For me, I'm gonna still be talking shit. That's not gonna. It's not gonna. I mean, I'm unapologetically. I'm still gonna talk shit. But also, for me, I'm going to step it up. I want to bring back. I don't know if many people realize I had a podcast called This Chick Talks Beer. I'm actually bringing it back in 2025.
Nice.
What I loved about This Chick Talks Beer is I didn't just talk about beer. So there were episodes I talked about Black women being over objectified and sexual. I talk about the mental health of Black men. So I really want to bring that podcast back. Yeah. So for me is to still talk shit and not care what people say or think.
I love that. I love that. What's next for the community? So hopefully we'll be contract brewing next year. I kind of came into some funds. Yes, I came into some funds that I think will help. So I won't need investment. I could probably do it all off just the money that I came into. And still kind of, I feel like I've done enough in the Charleston community. And, every community has its woes and has its negatives, and my community has it, and it has its pros and its cons. I think my community is just kind of like tapped out a little bit. So I'm hoping to really expand across the United States and do a lot of different collabs with different breweries around town. So I'm hoping next year to collab in North Carolina. I sent a beer to Allagash Brewing, which was really cool, and they really liked it. So hopefully something will come out of that. For Charleston Food and Wine this year, which is our biggest Southeastern food festival, I'm hopefully doing a beer in conjunction with Garrett Oliver. That's a Fonio beer for Charleston Food and Wine. So to get that down in South and be the first person in South Carolina to do that. So I'm hoping that will go on. But it's just mostly just to kind of move forward and move at my own speed. I'm not trying to race anybody. I'm not trying to get beers out faster than the next person. I'm trying to move at my own speed. I'm trying to be intentional with what I'm doing. And I want to make good beers and I want to make good connections.
So April, what I would love to do is if Sam is my brother. I love Sam. Sam works at Goose Island. So what I know Goose Island get a lot of flack for selling out to ABV. But here's the thing, what a lot of people don't know about, and I know this is crazy coming from me, Afro Beer Chick. Goose Island here in Chicago, they still support and love on not even Black on, but just the small brewing community. Like for instance, there is a brewer, Eric Flores, who used to brew at Goose, who is now at a completely different brewery, Whiskey Hill. When I talked to Eric said, hey, Goose sent me all kinds of love and support. They made sure I had the materials. They say, hey, what do you need? So Goose Island, even though it's owned by ABV, they still show love and support to the but just to the small brewing community. Sam has done collabs with Black Calder. It will be so dope. And I'm gonna reach out. Actually, I'm gonna text him. It will be so dope to get you in to do a collab with Goose Island and Sam. Oh my God,
that'd be dope. Cool. Yeah, I would love to do something like that. Yeah.
But that rare from Goose Island, man, that rare from Goose Island, that's a whole different piece. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that back channel with Doug. But
I would love. I went to Goose Island in Philadelphia and it was great. We just me and my boyfriend at the time were just talking to the bartender. We were talking our beer nerd talk, and my boyfriend at that time was I really got him into beer. So we would have these beer conversations, talking about thiols and hops and malt and all this kind of stuff. And people would be like, what are they fucking talking about? And the beer tender actually heard us talking. He was like, oh, you guys are into beer. And he's like, oh yeah. It's my girlfriend does this and does traveling hoptista and all that kind of stuff. And they end up giving us all this material, these books of just beer from Goose Island, what they teach their beer tenders how to learn about beer from Goose Island, from Philadelphia. And it was like great. So I would love to do a collab with them. And,
I would love to see what they call the Black Brewers Collective, where we have a 4-pack, where we have at least 4 Black-owned breweries do a different style of beer. And I would love for Goose. I would love for Goose. ABEV. I would love for you guys to sponsor that shit.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
ABEV, AB sponsor this. Hey, we have Black breweries. We have 4 different styles. You have your pale ale, whatever style it is, but it's from Black-owned breweries in collaboration, even if it's in collaboration with Goose Island, but put Black-owned breweries on.
Yeah, definitely. So I forgot to mention, so I have an event. Yeah, so I have an event coming up on Saturday, which, you know, it's cool. So it's called a Reframe event. Greg will tee up the photo, but it's with this artist called Cold Piece, who's like very famous here in Charleston. He's a Black artist. And he is with the Gibbs Museum, which is who we are partnering with a white-owned brewery called Snafu, and we're doing the banana pudding sour. They put up his can that he is doing, and for our can art for the banana pudding sour, and this is the artwork that he did for the can. So Daddy's Girl Bakery, you can see on there, Snafu is the white-owned brewery, and then Cold Piece did the can art, and then this can will be poured at his events while he's visiting at the museum. So it's a pretty cool event. It's just getting like people there, so it's pretty exciting. So it's my first like big collab with like a Black-owned business.
I want the can just for the artwork. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, Cold Piece is like, he's so dope.
Is it that?
So can I cash app you so I can get that can?
Yes, I will. You don't even have to cash out me. I'll send it to you.
Is that
yeah?
You gotta let me know what you want from Chicago. You gotta let me know what you want from Chicago.
Oh, anything. Yeah. So banana pudding sour. So, okay. So a little bit about me. So my flavors of my beers all go back to my Black history. So things that like, my parents are not from the South. So my mom is from Maryland and my dad is from Florida, and they got to South Carolina by the military, by Navy. So a lot of my flavors and my beers are things that like people expected me to have as a Black young child. And I was like, no, I never had banana pudding. Like, no, I never had red rice. Like, no, I was a seafood household in a Caribbean, Cuban household. Like, that's the kind of things that my parents cook. Like, I never had this Southern food. Like, my dad would make macaroni and cheese and all that kind of stuff. But when I was thinking about how do I get Black people into beers, it's about getting their flavors. So that's why we did cornbread. So cornbread was a staple in my house. Like, it was at every meal. Banana pudding was like it's a huge thing in South Carolina. People love it. People go crazy for banana pudding down here, So I did a watermelon wheat. I've done an American lager that is like a clone of Heineken. I've done a coffee blonde stout, Peruvian coffee. So like all my flavors go back to Black history and have a Black story behind them. So that's how the banana pudding came about. But yes, it's very good. I had it at Barrel and Flow last year, and it will be at Barrel and Flow this year too, hopefully. So
that sounds really good.
Yeah. So I guess I can ask about if you were on a visit.
I do have a quick question. Yeah. So I'm wrapping up my degree in project management in March, and graduation is in May in New Hampshire on the East Coast. I'm debating if I'm going to walk in person versus virtually, and I'm not
walk in person in New Hampshire.
I know. So here's the thing. No, here's the thing. It's based on the breweries. It's based on the breweries.
Literally, you're in New Hampshire. You can go anywhere in New England. Like, it's like literally like an hour drive everywhere. Like, it's quick. Like, you can hop into Vermont and go to Teddy. You can go to like Keedy Teddy. You can go.
So I'm graduating from Southern New Hampshire University. So it's like, okay,
yeah.
Am I going to walk in person versus virtually? It's like, it depends on the breweries.
Girl, you are so close to everything. You're so close to Boston. You're so close to so much stuff. You should walk in. You should walk.
Okay. Walk with a beer.
Yeah.
take a graduation photo with a beer.
Yeah, you will find all kinds of great beers.
It's underrated. I need to explore. Okay, you know what? Where you been at? Yeah.
Oh, Smutty Nose Latifah is so good. Is it Hetty Topper? That's so good.
Cap has been hiding. I used to see Cap all the time. Like, where you been at?
Huh?
He popped up.
Hey, Steve. Tifa's so amazing. I love Tifa.
Latifah is so amazing. Her daughter is so cute.
How's the baby?
She's a baby.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing, Tifa. You're getting ready to go through with it. Everything I already went through. But here's it. I could be your beer auntie. I could be your beer auntie. I don't want to babysit, but I could be your beer auntie. I'm gonna still have a beer chick onesies and shit. But yeah, I could be your beer auntie.
Oh yeah.
Vermont has a lot of great breweries too. They just have the Shillings Beer Fest, which I was so mad that I missed because I had to do my beer release in Clemson, but I really want to go to Shillings Beer Fest instead. But yeah, when you're in New Hampshire, Chalonda, you can just like hop over to Vermont. You can hop down to Boston. It's like all within an hour drive of each other. Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Go ahead.
I still want to know more about the beer festival, the Charlotte Wine and Food Festival, because I'm still trying to make my way over there.
Charlotte or Charleston?
Is it Charleston?
It's Charleston Wine and
Charlotte. Yeah, Charleston. I said Charlotte, didn't I? I meant Charleston. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've been drinking.
I've been drinking.
Yeah. So Charleston Food and Wine, like the tickets are on sale now. You can go and look. They are pricey. They are not cheap, but it is totally worth it. It's totally worth the experience. It's an experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. It's very, very good. We had the Food and Wine Classic here this year, and we're a big food mecca. Like Charleston is a big food mecca. So I think it's worth the money for sure to come. And Blackbeard Nerd, I would have too.
If I can't come during that time, when is a good time to come to just come and be a foodie?
All the time.
All the time.
I mean, there's like food that's in season.
Wait, you gotta come to Chicago to be a foodie. Come to Chicago first.
Oh, I know. My big pants is already ready for Chicago.
Here's the thing. If I know you and I love you, which Angie and April I do, I'll cook for you, which means you get that Chicago.
Oh wow. Ooh, that's
groceries.
I'm coming.
I'll pay for groceries as long as you cook.
What you want? What you want? I cook.
I want a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Baby, my seafood mac and cheese is like heavenly. It's like the bomb.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Lobster, scallions, shrimp, crawfish. Yes. What you want?
I mean, Angie, you really can't go wrong when you come in Charleston. Like right now we're in oyster season, and oyster season is delicious. Like the oysters this year are superb. If you come in the summer, like you can get fresh fish, fresh shrimp. Like it really just like there's no bad time to come to Charleston. There's really no bad time.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in Chicago for this time. Well,
I have never been to Chicago, and I really want to go.
Okay, so here's the thing. Depending on when CiderCon is, because at the end of the day, I am a mom. I try to pop up on my kid for her birthday, which is February 22nd. She'll be 20 in 2025. So, like, if you are coming around that weekend of 2025, I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be in Urbana, like 2 hours away from my kid's birthday. But yeah, other than that, I'm here. Let's go drink. For a live crawfish. Look here, let me tell you something. I can make it work either way. I can make it work either way.
I would have never thought about
March 12th is my birthday. I'll be 46. But on March 12th is my birthday. Hey,
See, I should have known a Pisces. I should have known
Pisces.
with that heat.
Like Erica
That will
Bachman and
that will
Common and
tell you
Common with
everything.
Pisces. Yes.
Yes, because that's my daddy. Jesus.
What's your daddy birthday?
10th.
Oh, I love your daddy already. March 12th. Team Pisces, baby.
Yep.
So I guess we can see if Greg or Doug have any questions for us or want to talk about anything.
Do we really? I mean,
Do we have to open? We got to open up the chat.
Yeah, Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Hello.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, so a quick question for actually Afro Beer Check. I want to try to go to FOBAB next year, and I want to get out there next year.
Wait, not this year?
No, it's
okay. Well, I'm gonna give you the Black Mama answer. Don't ask me about next year for this year.
all right. Because that is a dream beer festival for me. And,
Here's the thing.
So because
FOBAB through honestly, I love some FOBAB. FOBAB is one of my favorite Chicago beer parties. They threw us off with this year as far as normally FOBAB is like the first or second week of November. The fact that it's the third week in November is threw us all off. I don't know what to tell you. But if you can make it next year and make it, that's all I got. That's all I got for you.
Well, we had Mike Zoller on, who was actually at the Goose Island release you were at, and
I did see Mike. Mike was cool.
Yeah. So Capato asked, "What's FOBAB stands for?" Festival of Barrel Aged Beers. And Mike pointed out, like, it's not just stouts, it's not just barrel aged stouts, it's barrel aging in gin barrels and tequila barrels and a million other barrels. So,
well, here's the thing: FOBAB has extended out over the years. It's been cider. It's been God damn, I've been drinking, so I don't know even what my kids' names are at this point. But yeah, FOBAB has extended out. It's not just a festival of barrel aged beers. They have a whole cider room. They have a whole bourbon room. They have a lager room. So yeah, they have a whole lager lounge now. So yeah, it's more than barrel aged beers.
Yeah, and it honestly, like, GABF is kind of like, everybody's like, "Oh, you gotta go GBF." I am much more interested in going to FOBAB just for.
Here's the thing. I've never been to GBF, but for me, it's cheaper to go to FOBAB. And honestly,
it's overwhelming.
And honestly, it's like going to FOBAB is like it's so small, it's so close knit. Like, you know the people. Like, I know, like Crawley, he's the founder of Half Acre, who started FOBAB. Crawley is, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I love Pete Crawley. Pete Crawley is cool. So yeah, go to FOBAB. Go to FOBAB. Okay, go to FOBAB.
Angie, were you talking about GABF and you said it was overwhelming?
It's overwhelmed. I went there on a media pass, and now this year I believe people really enjoyed it because they had different areas sectioned off. So they had like a space area, they had a sports area, they had a Proust area. So it made it a little bit different to kind of see, these different collection of beers. It made it they have like a Halloween area, so like a haunted house kind of thing. So they had different themes, but maybe because I did Denver, Sacramento, San Francisco within a weekend, I was overwhelmed. But I know that people go and have just as good a time outside of GBAF compared to going in. And the pours, like this pour, that's probably a pour.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Nick to tap in on. So he's been to GBF and FOBAM, so he can kind of give you the both sides of it.
All right, let's hear it.
Hey, where do we start? Well, FOBAC's coming up. So I don't know if you guys have been. That's what is it? The Festival of Wooden Barrel Aged Beers. I would say that's Chicago's finest hour because it's our only national event, right? It's a national draw for people to come to Chicago. Oh, but
not St. Patrick's Day. Sorry.
No, not at all.
Right after Diamond River. The stay green. Oh, it stays green all year after that. But yeah, that's a big party. It's a competition. It's 2 days. And then there's 11 categories. So it's not just all stouts, right? There's sours, there's ciders, right? There's a lager lounge. But it's a chance to really try like a lot of beers. If you went to a bar, it'd probably be the first beer you got because it's probably, a beer that took a year to make, right? So it's a special event, and it's in a stadium now. It's in a college stadium, USC. So that's a really fun time. I love FOBAM. I think it's the best party in the city.
Is it better than GBF?
GABF is its own beast. I've been to GABF like 3 times, and
that's why I asked you on because you've been on the boat.
All the stuff around GABF makes Denver is a destination for sure.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah. I think I went to a beer and stripper pairing at
Stripper?
Yeah, but the strippers own
like stripper.
I thought you said beer and sugar. Beer and sugar. I was like sugar.
It was
Wait,
a beer and
stripper or sugar?
No.
Stripper. Hold on, Nick is on point.
It was a beer and stripper pairing. The strippers own the brothel. I mean, not the brothel. The strippers own
You
the
was
club.
I know all that.
I like how Nick stumbling in and is getting himself in trouble immediately. This is great.
I love it. So
I want to go to JBF next year. I'm definitely going to CBC this year in Indianapolis because I've never been to Indianapolis.
Right.
Well, I've never been to the Midwest. Well, I kind of is North Dakota considered the Midwest or no?
No.
No.
Okay, so no, I never been to the Midwest.
That's mountain. No, it's not Midwest.
Hey, this is where we need Greg to come
I
in
didn't know
because
where
he's from
North
the mid
Dakota.
fucking west and he's in the... No.
Greg said no. Greg said no.
Okay. Well, I've been to North Dakota, but I've never been to the Midwest. So I definitely want to go to Chicago and go to FOBAB and go to Denver for sure.
If you come to FOBAB, cool, we can kick it. But if you come to like January, February, no, I'm not gonna see you. I'm like, I love you. I'm like, April, I'm like, I love you, but I'm not coming outside during this time.
So poor Ren's gonna be there in February. He'll be waiting for you, and you're gonna be like, nope.
But here's the thing: February is tricky because we've had some Februarys where it's like 40 degrees, but then we've had February with like -5 degrees. If it's -5, I'm not coming outside.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
like last year,
I'm going to Seattle in January, and I'm nervous.
Like last year, I surprised my kid for her birthday on February 22nd. It was like 41 degrees. I drove from Chicago to Champaign, which is like an hour and a half away. Cool. The next day, it was like 60 degrees. I was like, no, fuck that. I'm good.
No, JABF is in Denver every year. I think somebody asked a question.
Yeah, it's in Denver. It's not associated with the one in Medford.
Did you guys go
so I know I'm going to Seattle in January, so I'm like,
probably the same thing that Larson.
Yeah.
Me too. I want some else too. Look at some else.
So ladies, is there anything that you want to talk about that we haven't touched on? I feel like we've touched on a lot of like pretty good things. I think we touched on like adversity or things that we've overcome. Where we see the future of beer going.
I would like to talk about the dynamic of Black women in beer, like how it's so much overlooked. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
it is like we are very much overlooked.
yeah, we created this space, like we created brewing, like for instance, Patsy Young. A lot of people don't know about Patsy Young. Patsy Young was a fugitive brewer who brewed beer who was highly sought out by white men to brew beer. I would love to see somebody come out. Well, I know Celeste did, but I would love to see more Black breweries come out with their versions of Patsy Young.
That'd be dope.
And I understand that you're not going to get a true depiction of Patsy Young because there's no pictures of her, but it's like, this is our culture.
Yeah.
This is our culture. I don't brew beer. I don't, and I said I don't brew beer, but I would love, April, I would love to brew a beer with you. I would love to brew a beer with anybody. It's like I want to see this grow more than what it is.
What is? I wonder what the statistics are of. So we make up less than 1%, right? And then there's 80 to 90 Black women breweries. 0.8. So 0.8. So 0.8, and then we're 80 to 90 Black owned breweries. So how many of those Black owned breweries are really Black owned, and how many of them are women Black owned?
Exactly.
Because I only can think of like what,
I love fucking with Lisa Mercado of Rhythm Brewing.
Yeah.
It's like she's Black owned. Like I hear police like, hey, I need your beer in my fridge. Let me send you some money so you can send it to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just want to support.
Yeah,
we need more of that. I would love to have more of Celeste's beer in my fridge. It's like we need more.
Yeah.
My ultimate goal, honestly, in Chicago is to open a bottle shop. And I know with the way the liquor laws here in Chicago, you have to be sponsored by somebody who has the brick and mortar. So for me, like, I would love to sponsor Harlem. I would love to sponsor Rhythm. I want to have those breweries in my store.
Yeah, so you'd be like a Harlem Hops just in Chicago.
Right. So like I was talking to, there's a white guy in Chicago, and I'm the reason why I'm not going to name his name because he's so undisclosed. He's an attorney here in Chicago, but he said, "Hey, Afro Beer Chick, there is less than 3% of Black-owned liquor stores in Chicago. If you want to open a bottle shop, I'll help you." And in order for that to happen, and he put me on the game, he said, if you want these Black-owned breweries, you have to have a brick and mortar in order to sponsor, because that's the way our liquor laws are sponsored.
The liquor laws are what fucks a lot of us over.
Exactly.
It fucks a lot of us over.
Here's the thing.
South Carolina is the most backwardest fucking
people need to vote for that stuff.
This is what I don't understand. The wine laws are different. Like, we can order wine from anywhere, right? But we can't order beer from anywhere. We can't order bourbon from anywhere. Like, if I wanted to order your beer,
backwards.
Right. I have to go to Tavor. Tavor, their beer is going to sit in the warehouse for what, 4 weeks before it's sent to me? I don't want that. I want your beer fresh.
Yeah.
So
it's so fucking crazy.
We need to change that.
And the companies that came out, they Tavor kind of killed them. The other ones that were trying to, to do a better job at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was trying to get Tavor when it first came out, and they wouldn't deliver to South Carolina. The only thing I could get was drop beer or something like that. What's it called? Drop.
Tavor, what happens is you have to send your beers to Tavor in Washington. It has to sit, and then it's sent out. So you're not getting it fresh. And here's the thing: I'm not faulting Tavor for that because it's the way out the liquor laws are set. And the sad part about it is Illinois, which is where I live at, they have the most relaxed liquor laws compared to every other state.
Oh yeah. South Carolina,
So,
you ain't getting
like,
nowhere.
Illinois is with the shit, but all the other states are not.
Mm-mm.
It sucks. Like South Carolina is so backward.
Yeah.
So backwards.
So in order for me to get beer from South Carolina, it's like you gotta send me books. So send me some books, April. And I'm gonna say,
like Meg said, some stickers.
And right, and I got some Afro stickers I can send you.
Okay, and you just send me a box, and then I'll just send it back.
Send you a box, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing that for a while with a woman in Colorado. She was sending me Colorado beers, and I was sending her beers, and we were just sending it. So we got this whale pod box because like I don't know if you've heard of whale pod.
That was a nice one.
They're like the beer boxes. So I would send her a 24-pack case of South Carolina beers, and then I would send it to her, and she put her stickers all on top and put her beer underwards, and that's how we would just go back and forth. We did it for almost a year during COVID. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a whole bunch of stickers I can send you.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. What advice or encouragement would you give to other Black women entering the beer industry?
Wait, say that again? Because I'm buzzed.
What advice or encouragement would you give other Black women entering the beer industry?
Keep going. It's like, for me, as someone in the Gen X era, don't take no for an answer. If someone tells you no, find someone else that will tell you yes. Because it's possible. It's like, don't let no be your stopping barrier, because we didn't get this far from hearing the word no. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, civil rights didn't happen because we heard the word no. We kept pushing. And I tell even my Gen Z daughters. I know I'm the only one who have daughters on this panel. It's like we have to keep pushing, and that's the beauty of our ancestors. They heard the word no and they kept going. It's like no was not enough for them. So it's like keep going. Yeah. And if you hear the word no, and if you feel like you are at a stopping point, grow your network so you can grow your network. And that's the thing. That's the beauty. Here's the thing about Black people. You have to grow your network. In order to grow your network, share information. Don't be crabs in the barrel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if one person's keeping you down, share their information so we can climb together.
Yeah. I am always told, like, I've heard a lot of criticism, like on my page or whatever, like you don't post enough. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. And I'm one woman answering emails, working a full-time job that's 40 hours a week, 12-hour shifts. So 48 hours a week, 12-hour shifts. I understand I don't post enough. And but that posting and marketing yourself is like a full-time job, and like the rate for people that you can get people to help you, is astronomical. Like I remember I had this girl who was like a influencer, and I tried to get her to do like a TikTok or whatever for my beer that was coming out, and she wanted to charge me $1,000.
April,
just for TikTok. And I was like, what?
April, if you need help with pushing your beers, hit me. I'm not charging anything. I want to see you win.
Yeah.
I genuinely the only thing I ask for, send me beer. I don't want anything else. Just send me beer.
Send you beer. Yes, Greg. She wanted $1,000 for a TikTok video.
Here's the thing. I shit you not. Even with, so for instance, like I do beer cocktails with a brewer here in Chicago, Revolution. I say, hey,
okay,
I will do your beer cocktails The only thing I ask of you is to donate to a local charity that I'm fond of, which is the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance, because I was a burn victim. And they do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not charging anybody. So if you need help, if you want to get your beers pushed, all I ask is send me beer. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't
do
payment. It's not $1,000. Send me beer. I'm good. And the only reason why I ask you that because I want to try your beers, not because I'm being greedy, because I want to try your beers. So it's like, it's so funny because like I had to have this conversation with people. They said, "Oh, I wanted to tap on you, but you charge so much." I don't charge anything. I've never charged anything. There's not one brewery on the face of this earth that can say Afro Beer Shake has charged them anything. So if you need help, say Afro Beer Shake, I need help. I want your help. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm genuine with it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm definitely tell me anytime for being Black and Craft.
Yeah.
Let me know. Because usually I'm scrolling through there, and if I post, if it's somebody, even if they're not on the show, you're Black and Craft, and so I want to, publish whatever you have. So DM me if I don't see it, or there's something coming up. Definitely, because we have beer news, and I talk about everything that's going on.
Yeah,
everything that I know about.
Yeah, I mean, any help would be greatly appreciated for sure.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it's like if I don't reach out, it's not because I genuinely just don't see it because of because of the algorithm. So it's not because I'm ignoring it. I genuinely just don't see it. So if you hit me on DM, if you hit me on my email, say, hey, ABC, I need you to push this, I'm there.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. I mean, I definitely would love to talk more about the Goose Island thing for sure. So
I'm gonna reach out to Goose Island now. Like, hey, this is what we need to do.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see if I have any more pressing questions. I think we're probably close to wrapping up. Does anybody have any questions in the audience that they want to ask us? We are ready to answer them. I will always ask this question. If you are on a deserted island, what is your fermented beverage that you're going to have?
Bourbon. Bourbon. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have some bourbon.
This one bottle of bourbon is gonna get me through. Y'all have Brazo Forte Brewing beer. It's a Black woman that owns it. Something Armstrong. I've never heard of her.
Wait a minute. Let me take a screenshot so I can look her up.
Yeah, I've never heard of her.
Never heard of it. No. But an answer to your question that you had previously for Black women as far as like things to note. Black women or Black woman, you are enough. You come complete to the table. Even if you have to build it, you are complete, and you are amazing. You've done so many things. You are a multitasker, and you just part of evolutionizing the beer community. So, and well, for all fermentables, period. And I think that it's it goes without saying that women like April and Chalonda and many more that we named today are making moves or making transitions to being a voice in the community, and we need to continue to uplift them and let them know, hey, you're not doing this in a void, that I see you, and I appreciate you being here with me in this space.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna kind of get a little serious here. So I've been struggling. So when I came out with the community, I initially came out, I just got back from Boston and it was like hectic. Like I had just been back from Boston. I hadn't been in Charleston in like 7 years. And I remember I was at this brewery, Munkle Brewing, and I saw this other Black person. And when I see other Black people at a brewery, I always buy their beer. I always take their tab because I say thank you for being here and not making me the only one here. And I met this guy who ended up being my kind of partner in the community. He was brought on because he had the reach to the Black community that I didn't have. So I brought him kind of on. Her name is Beverly Armstrong. I don't know her, but I brought him on to the community to be like the brewery liaison to the community. We came out with the first beer, which put us on the map, which got us all our fame and all that kind of stuff. And during that time, when the beer was out and we were like marketing it to like other businesses and stuff like that, a lot of people thought it was his beer, you know, and people thought it was his beer because one, they think a male only brews beer. They don't know that a female brews that. And the problem happened was we had to split our ways because a lot of people thought it was his beer and he wasn't telling people that it wasn't his beer. People are like, oh, this is your beer. And he was like, yeah. And he never mentioned me in the whole process. This man knows nothing about beer, doesn't know how to build a recipe, what machines are what, like nothing. So we ended up having to split ways. And because I split ways, I lost a lot of my followers and I lost a lot of confidence in what I was doing with the community because I was like, you know, if people don't support me as a woman in the beer industry, what voice do I have? You know, I only can, my voice is only so loud, but in a white male dominated industry, and even in a male dominated industry, whether you're Black or white, like their voice is a lot louder. So their story is going to be told a lot more than my story. And like, I'm the truth behind the brand. Like I came up with the recipe. I wrote the recipe. I brewed the recipe, all these things. And like, he took that from me. And like, I had to like continue to push on. So I think what I would tell women is that even when they count you out, you count yourself in. You know, you push forward. You keep doing what you're doing. Whether you have those 125,000 followers or not, like you keep doing what you're doing. And that's what I've been doing. So like, even at my events, like when I had 125 Black people at my event my first time, and now when you have 4 or 5, I'm so happy with those 4 or 5 because that's 4 or 5 Black people that weren't there before. But like, I guess, huh?
Yeah, that's the history of Black women. We always have to count ourselves out in order to include other people. And we have to get to the point where we have to stop that because we're viable just like everybody else. We built this country. We breeded this country. And a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that, but we did. If it wasn't for the support and the love, the backbone of Black women, we would not be where we're at. So it's like, stop. I want to tell people, I want to tell Black women in brewing, stop discounting yourself. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard because we started this industry. We started this industry. Whether they want to acknowledge it or not, if you look back in the Kazi, we started this. So April, you're doing what you are doing your work, and don't let anybody else take you away from that.
Yeah, I will tell you, it's hard some days. It's really hard some days. And there's some days that like I want to go on Instagram and like I'm being like, this is a completely vulnerable moment. And like, I don't care if it gets back to him or not because he knows who he is. But like, there are some days that I want to get on Instagram Live and be like, do you really want to know the true story? Do you really want to know like what really happened? Like, I'm not the bad guy here. And like, because you choose to follow this guy over me, like, it's not about me or him. It's about the beer. And in the end, it's all about the beer. It's about getting Black people into beer. The thing that started us. that was like a major moneymaker for us. You know, like that's what it's about. It's about the beer. But it's also about the history behind the beer and that Black women started this. Like Black women started beer. And it's just like sometimes it just aches on my soul. And I'm just like, oh, you know, and when you hear another story about a Black woman being like taken down or like whatever, it just sucks. So I don't know.
I understand that it's very frustrating. I can also identify with you as far as like being in a partnership with males and then they're not pulling their weight or they're just it's not coming up to coming up to par and having to be the front facing person of taking the brunt of the people that are deciding to drop off or not, but know that you're doing an amazing job, that you are still forthright in what you're doing, as far as being a brewer, knowing that that was your baby, you rocked it, you made it, you birthed it, that is yours, and no one can take that from you. No matter what the narrative that is being shown, you continue to stay forthright with showing the community what you have. This is your legacy that you are putting forth.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I that sometimes you just need to hear that, hear that from your people that are in your circle, because sometimes it gets hard, and sometimes there's not many of us, and our world is so unique and so little and so compact that it's like these crafted for actions, these barrel and flow fests, these cider cons, these events that everybody's going to. It's like you really need them. You need them to keep you going. To say that, like, okay, yeah, I can keep doing this because I got my crew here, I got my people here, which is nice.
Yeah,
it's a shame that Black people are the only race of people that need validation to keep going, and we do because we don't know otherwise. It's like we have the barrel and flow. It's like I can't pinpoint it, but it's like for me, it saddens me that we always are looking for validation just to keep living, just to keep saying that it's okay to be okay. And we as people have got to get to the point where we have to say, fuck it. We're going to be us no matter what, because at the end of the day, if you look at the history of this country, we would not be where we are without Black people. We have got to stop looking for validation from other people. Not only with other people, but ourselves.
Oh yeah. It's a whole thing. Like
I was gonna say, just because I'm in my own silo, I'm putting out, putting on Instagram, putting on Facebook, having the podcast every Monday. And I don't know how many people are listening. I don't know how many people are watching, but I'm still doing it because of, as we said before, passion and in hopes that I'm not speaking into a void. I met someone, just a random person. It was a random person at CBC this year that said she listened to my podcast, and I bawled right there on the floor because I was like, I'm doing all this work. I'm hoping that someone is listening to me. It's being taken seriously. So it's hard to say, yeah, we need we shouldn't have to have the validation, but
here's the thing. I have a question. Maybe because I've been drinking. Greg and Doug, are y'all ready? Because this is not my platform. Let me close the door on this one. Even when we get to the Black Brewers Association, are they doing enough? Are they doing enough for the Black brewing community? I feel like what happens? They have their picks and their favorites, which they highlight a lot. Because for me, I'm gonna put it out there. Every time I log on to my social media, they're pushing certain breweries. They're pushing certain agendas. They're pushing the ones that have the money. They're pushing the clicks. So it's like, y'all are no fucking different than the Brewers Association. And I mean, if you guys don't want to say anything, but for me, I don't have shit to lose, so I'm gonna say it.
Wonder if it's the ones that are members of the MB2A.
I'm a member of the MB2A, and I haven't felt any support from them.
Okay. Wait a minute. So here's the thing, April. You are not the reason why I said that, and I'm not saying because I'm buzzed. You are not the reason why I said because you are not the first one to say that. It's like, for me, when it's like
I've been supposed to get on
the difference between. Well, I mean, what's the difference between you and the
and let's say Montyville Brewing in New Jersey? So like I have been told multiple times that Kevin Asada wants to come and talk to me. And I'm like, how does he know about
Let me give a version.
And I'm like, okay, he wants to talk to me, but like people have given him my contact number and I have not received a phone call yet. So what do you want to talk to me about?
Here's the thing.
So I applied for the canning line because I was like, what loss do I have? Like a canning line? Sure. But I might not have a brewery to brew it in, but maybe I'll get a canning line.
It's a real. I'm taking my earrings off.
But you notice that the canning line went to someone that already had a brewery, established brewery.
Here's the thing. If you're not a part of the clique, you are no different than the Brewers Association. For me,
and also, you saw what happened to Dave Bracey.
Oh no! He got kicked off without the formal. Here's the thing.
Hold on.
Oh, wait, come on, let's go.
Hold on.
I mean, I know his comment was out of line.
Andy, come on, Andy,
but
tap in.
His comment was way out of line.
No.
And he doubled down on it.
He doubled down on it. I know. So basically, the comment that I heard, which is out there, so I don't care.
Wait, I have a screenshot in my phone.
So he basically said white people are the plague because there was a white woman that had a dog on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard worse things. Granted, yes, I understand because I'm in a position of power and a position in leadership. And now that you're on the Black Association,
where you're getting flued out and everything else.
Yes. So I get his comment was, okay, this if you're going to be in this leadership role, you probably shouldn't be saying this stuff when we have
and the person of leadership is married to a what?
White woman.
Okay.
So I get it. But you doubled down on
and you left it on comedy. You said it was being comedic, but
wait, Dave Bracey's married to a white woman?
No. Kevin Asada is.
Oh,
but Dave
I was like, whoa.
But Dave Bracey is, hey, it's whatever.
Well,
it's whatever as far as color.
Despite what you're married, who you're married to, what he said was the MB2A was backed by Big Beer, which means that if you are in the collab, if you're in the clique,
and where does Barrel and Flow based off of?
Here's the thing, which is why he lost a lot of money. He lost And here's the thing, even though he lost a lot of money, he kept it going. This is where here's the thing. This is where I respect Day at. He's like, okay, I lost this money, but however, I kept bearing the flow going because because the MB2A is backed by Boston Beer, which is big money. So which means it's like you have to be on their agenda.
Because we 8%.
Right.
So where we gonna get the money from?
Now here's the thing. This is where I get it. You have to play the game in a certain sense. But it's like, damn, it's like, how much are we supposed to play this game? So for Day, it's like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna play this game, but yeah, I lost this money, but yeah, I was able to put on this beer fast. So it's like a catch-22 with Day.
I feel like it was just like, wow, you didn't have to do that.
No.
Some things need to stay in the group chat. That didn't have to be on Facebook.
When it comes to Black people, we always feel like things have to stay in the group chat so we can play the game. And I get it because of the fact we don't have the funding, we don't have the backing, we don't have the exposure. But at some point, what Day did, and this is where I respect Day at, he was like, look, the MB2A was backed by this. They have their clicks. They have their money. So it's not for the advancement of Black beer. Which the reason why I'm saying this is because when I talk to other Black brewery owners, they feel the same way. So it's not just they saying this. It's them saying, hey, we in MB2A, we don't feel like we're being backed by our Black Beer Association. So it's like, what makes you so different from the Black Beer Association, from the Beer Association? Nothing.
There definitely needs to be a conversation. And I think that when they have the state of the Black beer, whatever.
Wait. Can I say Black women gonna always bring the tea? Black women gonna always bring the tea.
Baby, because I was just like, Ooh.
So here's the thing. So Angie, you and I, we don't brew beer, right? But April does. Yeah. So it's like, if MB2A is doing April dirty, are you and I going to sit back and let them continue to do her dirty because they're getting money from big beer? When you and I are fighting for the fact of advancement of Black beer in the Black beer community, it's like, who are we? It's like, at that point, we're selling that. So this is why I have that respect for Day. It's like, when he called, and trust me, even though he may have deleted it, I still have the screenshot. Like, damn, he called this.
He had it in back. He said, he was like, fuck it.
He called it out. Because it's like, here's the thing, before they started the MB2A, you can ask L Woods of the brewery, you can ask anybody of our syndicate. I was talking about starting a Black Brewers Association. For me, it was like actually committing to the Black Breweries Association. It wasn't committing to Black beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, Cap, yes, there is a Black Brewers Association, but it's not
friendly to small Black businesses. It's not friendly to the small Black businesses. It's not friendly to someone like me who's starting off. It's definitely more friendly to the people who already have things established, who already have things in place, who already have a name for themselves, all that kind of stuff. That is what the Black Brewers Association is more friendly to. And that's okay.
The thing that I would really like for them to have, other than now, I guess now Celeste has a brick and mortar, but the people that are on the board, if I'm looking to MB2A to be, the poster child, if you will, of black brewing, I would assume that they would all have a brewery if they're wanting to have a
Or
location.
one
And
of
I
them
know
has
that's
a brewery. Someone on the
They
one
maybe
being
not even
or
they're
two.
maybe
trying
not
to
Now
even
it's
one of
two.
them
The
having a
first one was
brewery,
just
but
one.
like
It was Montclair, but now it would be two. It would be them and Celeste. She has a brick and mortar now in Brixton, but that was one of the other things that people were a lot of, you know, dissension with, like, hey, you know, I really would like to be at a, be with an organization that would have everybody, as business people that are on the board have something going for them. So,
yeah.
and that's not necessarily the case right now. And they're having a lot of different shifting going on, but um I hate that you don't feel supported with them, and
I mean, I just
I'm
feel like
hoping.
a lot of like I feel like okay, so they're having a meeting or like a forum on like branding and like alcohol distribution. Okay. What does that have to do with a small black business that's just getting started? Like they don't do anything for like people that are just getting started. They do stuff for everybody that's already been started. So they do stuff like that Crown and Hops would need, that Montclair would need, that Alicia Mercado would need, and all these other things. But like for the people that are just trying to get started, like I feel like the National Black Brew Station is so just getting started. Like they would start small and grow bigger. So like get me, like help me like grow. You know what I mean? Like give me resources that I can go on your website and be like, okay, this is what I need to figure out. This is what I need to do. Like help me get in contact with a contract brewer or whatever.
What are you doing in December 10th through the 12th? Are you going to be are
Ooh,
you
I
going to go
don't
to
know.
CBP?
It's in San Diego,
Because
right?
in San Diego, because as a MB2A member, they had several tickets available that you can get free to go. And guess who's going to be speaking there? Kevin Asado. So I know that he said that he wanted to meet you, but maybe you can meet him and y'all can have a face-to-face conversation.
Yeah. You said December 10th through the 12th?
Yes.
Yeah, December 10th through the 12th.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
In San
I mean, I
Diego.
could definitely switch around the schedule. I could switch around some stuff to go. Get
Yeah,
a plane ticket out there. I should see how much plane tickets would be.
so oh my God. Alana, she you can email her
Mm-hmm.
to get the discount code
Okay.
for the ticket.
Yeah, maybe I'll fly out there. I mean, I love San Diego. I haven't been back to San Diego in a while. That was my
I
wild time
haven't
in life.
been forever. And it should be nice. It should be decent outside.
Yeah, for sure. It's California. Oh, it's probably gonna be beautiful. Um, but yeah, maybe I'll go out there and meet him
Yeah,
and
because
talk to him and be like,
you have Alana, there's a member with Funky Town that's also on the advisory committee. Ashley Randolph is on the advisory committee. There's people that you can reach out to.
Isn't Ashley Randolph?
Here's the thing.
That's
I
Buffy
will
Lucy,
say,
right?
Funky Town. You know what? I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to speak for Funky Town. I'm gonna let Funky Town speak for themselves when it comes to that.
What did you say about Ashley?
Ashley Rudolph is part of Lefting Lucy, right?
She is one of the co-founders of Lifting Lucy.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So wait,
Cool.
Lifting Lucy, put me on to that so I can help push that.
So Lifting Lucy is an organization for women, people of color, women that are people of color, non-binary, that are in the beer industry, period. So we have helped people who are wanting to go to like CBP or if you're needing, hey, I need to get a room at CBC, and we usually host the House of Lucy, where we'll have like 5 to 8 guests, because CBC is so overwhelming with just being in such a big white space that you can come and go to an Airbnb where you can kind of debrief and be with other like-minded women that are people of color that can understand, hey, I was around all these people, all these dudes, and be able to be transparent and just forthcoming and sharing that space. And that's kind of what we do.
So can you send me the information so I can push that as well?
Sure, I can do that.
Awesome.
I can do that. Yeah, I'm sure we
Greg
do this at the end of the year. So.
Greg and Doug, I'm just gonna say it. I feel this is like your best show.
Yeah, for sure. All right, do you girls want to wrap up, or do we have more to talk about?
Sure. We can wrap up.
All right, let's wrap up. Let's let Doug and Greg come back on and like say all their things. Taking over their stream.
I guess.
And we should let them have like a couple minutes of like talking about like the things that we've taken over, and just let them have their like final comments, and then we'll do a last review of like what we drank, which will probably be quick, and then kind of go from there and then head out. So Greg and Doug, you can come back to your show now.
I was like, they don't want to connect? What's going on?
They must not want to come out. Oh, there's Doug. There's Greg. I was about to say, I'm like, well, I'm going to start on my review because I'm taking over. And Greg has to play that.
I got nothing to say.
Yeah, I just want to say thank
Greg,
you all for being here and talking about everything.
Yeah. Correct.
Oh, Tony forgot about you guys because it's the women's show.
Black women's show.
Bad bitches show.
I got nothing, y'all. I'm serious. I got nothing. I just want to. I'm good. What do y'all got? I'm good. I just want to thank you all, and that's it.
You can't come back excellence with excellence. We know.
I know. Doug, what did you drink tonight? What'd you drink?
I had this thing, the Allagash orange porter.
Oh, put that down, Doug.
I had that, and I had a double IPA that was way long in the tooth, so I drank a little bit of that and kind of dodged it. And then I did this because fuck Greg on this, but Mad Elf. That's all I had. So thank you.
That's all you have. Greg, what did you have?
Oh. New Glarus. Can you see it? New Glarus. New Glarus. Sour ale. It's pretty good. It was fun. It was fun. That's it. I took it easy tonight. Took it easy.
Nice.
Hey, I would also like to point out that, hey, Ren, I can't just drink meads on the show. Your meads are fucking like 14 and 15%. I'd be passed out on the show live. That would not be great.
So, April, we can if you want to have some comments to show if you want, but I don't have anything else to say. And then let's see here. Okay, so he's been meaning to go to Barrel Flow. And I saw Black Bearded Nerd say he wanted to see all of y'all Barrel Flow. Y'all have any comments on that one?
I'll definitely be there.
I was diversifying my festival going this year, so I didn't go this year.
And here's one for you.
You can go to Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we're on every Monday at 7 p.m. Central. And if you can't watch the stream, it is always on via podcast on all streaming platforms, Being Black and Craft.
Excellent. This is probably the comment of the night. Just wanted to
everyone want to be black till it's time to be black. That is so true. That's huge.
Or they want black, but they or they don't want our blues.
Yep. We have this one too. Black Mirror Nerd, one that y'all don't know about Barrel and Flow and the creativity that goes on there.
I would love for us to have like a panel on. Greg mentioned this, a panel on Barrel and Flow, but it's really hard to do that. Oh yes, learn the homebrew days tomorrow.
I didn't get it. Yeah, Hermione's doing 4 beers.
Yeah, we're doing a homebrew day tomorrow. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, Amani brews excellent beer. We all know. Caputo thinks that Weather Souls closing is insane. Do you have any comments on this one, ABC?
No, it's not.
It's not insane. It's not insane at all.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And here's the thing. I'm about to piss somebody off. When you use a black man as a face of being a black hombre, no, it's not the same. I don't give a fuck. You used a black man to push the narrative of black is beautiful without telling the story. I don't give a fuck. You allow breweries to participate in a movement that was known racist and not participating in their charity. I don't give a fuck. So no, it's not the same. I don't give a fuck. And I stand on it. So here's the thing. One minute you are an owner, then the next minute you are an employee. I don't give a fuck. I stand on that. Be mad at that.
Doug?
Next topic.
Listen, I
251 pink.
I was
Doug,
like,
no, hold on.
Doug, what?
No, hold on. I just wanted you to write down on your notebook 251 ABC. Thank you.
How you go from being an owner to an employee? Now it's closing.
8 to 10%.
So,
and that's a quote.
So here's the thing. Before I say this, and here's the thing. What mark are we at? I want to say shouts out to April, who was the ex-wife of Tony. April, you put me on. I love you. That's my homegirl. I love you to death. April is the one who put me on.
Okay.
You know, us Aprils are pretty good.
Yeah, April. I love.
Yeah, y'all something else.
Yeah, black women, we come together.
So her name is Beverly Armstrong. Y'all with this brewery?
Beverly Armstrong. That name sounds so familiar, but I don't know.
Okay.
You'll be seeing her on Black and Craft if I can get her.
Yeah, bring her on Black and Craft because I definitely heard that name.
There was much support for Day in the comment section when y'all were talking about that. So just noting that.
Day
is the man.
The reason why Day gets so much support is because I'm gonna keep it real with you. For me, is that the fact that the Day that puts it out there. He puts it out there. He's like, hey, this is what it is. I don't care. I don't care how you understand it. I don't care how you comprehend it. It is what it is. So for Day, I do have mad respect for him for that. It's like it is what it is. He knows he's going to get judged for his actions, and he doesn't care. So he's going to put it out there, which means that he's going to he's going to stand on business.
So Caputo, this is all news to him. I'm sorry. This is all news to him.
Yeah.
This, Weather Soul stuff.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder he was always on the road. Oh shit. I thought he was out there collabing and pushing blackness and unity.
I think he's for his own agenda.
I respect the day. It's that fact when it came to Barry LaFleur, he made sure people were paid. It wasn't just volunteer.
Yeah. And I think Black Beer Nerd should host the next one. And I think it'd be super dope.
That'll be good.
It is already in the process.
Yeah.
It literally started during this. It started during this stream, actually.
Yes, I hope I'm on the show because I want to be on the show with Black Beer Nerd.
Look, there we go. So
we were Black Beer Nerd.
Well, I approached him to do the Black Men Speak on Craft Culture, and he said yes. So now we're going to do Black People Speak on Craft Culture too. So
nice.
you got two
Let's
Black
do it.
Bearded Nerd. You got two, buddy. So you're on the hook for that shit.
Count me in.
You already
I want to
know.
be
You
on
already
the
know the work it's going to take. So on that note, April, I'm good. I have nothing else to say. I'm pretty sure Doug has nothing else to say. So
All right,
you tell us.
go.
You take the reins here and either wrap us up or keep talking.
Greg, you have
or
to
do
play my
whatever you
video.
want.
Greg, you have to
Your
play my
video?
woman's video with the biscuits.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I want to see it.
This?
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
Was that it?
That was the whitest shit ever, and I love it.
Extended version. I know it was honey sauce with the biscuits. I remember the
It's the
biscuits.
most unflavored shit I've ever seen.
April.
It makes me
you're
laugh
muted.
every time. I love it.
Not even Doug. Greg, I question you now.
That's Doug. Blame him for that shit.
No,
blame me.
I'm
Blame me. I love that shit. I eat that shit.
I
up.
mean, it's funny as fuck, but Greg, I blame you.
No.
It is the dumbest thing. That thing's 15 years old too. That's the thing. It's the dumbest thing ever.
If you want to blame me for something, blame me for this one.
Y'all both fired. How the fuck? Y'all both have black women on your whole podcast and y'all pull that shit. I'll question y'all.
Hey, listen, at least the Taste of Biscuit people are talking about biscuits. That fucking lady doing it, that lady doing the dumb weird dance, just dancing around the American flag. That's Greg shit. That is Greg shit. That's Greg shit.
Let's wrap this up so I can go to sleep. Forget this shit. Whatever.
She ready to go big.
Wait, Craig.
I want to sign off on your asses. I'm going to bed.
All right, guys. It's midnight, and we've been on these people's computers for a while. So I am.
All right. April, thank you.
Yes.
You're muted.
April.
It's muting you on it's like ghost muting you. It's being
Okay,
weird.
Greg ghost muted me. I'm signing out because it's midnight, and we've been talking for 3 hours.
All right, April. We want to thank you. Next week we'll be here with Maine Beer Babe Carla Lotta, y'all.
Oh, I love Carla. I was going to say something smart, but until I found that you were with Carla. I love Carla.
Yes. So we're going to talk about, she wants to talk about beer business stuff. Obviously, everybody will want to see our reaction about what happens next Tuesday. So then, next Friday should be pretty fun. Doug has a cold bar thing.
Wait, did
going
you guys
on
early
Wednesday.
vote?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, sure did.
I've heard it like 2 months ago or something.
Yep.
Oh, you did absentee, Greg, didn't you?
Yeah, I do the old mail ballot thing because a certain segment of our population hates it. So I'm going to always continue to do it for that reason.
Okay, let's wrap this up. I'm thinking I'm drunk.
That's right. Can we just point out this? Can we point out this one? Oh, wrong one. Good stuff, white ladies and white sir. Thanks.
Wait. Tifa said Chalonda for prayers. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Sorry, I just thought that was hilarious.
Okay, but let's talk and I'm ready to go to sleep. Bye.
This is the AAA podcast.
All right, y'all. Thank you again.
Thank
you.
And
see ya.
We're gonna try to do this next year in the summer, right, April? And we will have hopefully everybody back. And yeah, this is a great conversation, and we loved it. And on that note, y'all, they're telling me to get out of here. So catch Doug on Wednesday. Y'all, we're gonna get through Tuesday and we'll be fine, I think. And we'll see y'all next week. Love y'all. Thank you for joining us and doing this, April. You the shit. So are you, ABC. But we got to work on that Porter thing.